Чё вы? Остановиться не могу. Все. Какой заказ еще будет? Привет всем твоим родственникам, особенно маме. Иди в бандурки, блядь. Вообще только одного можно указывать, блядь. Сел доману на месте? Да. Бля, я прям во время матча могу уснуть. Я вообще почти нихуя не спал. Я пару часов поспал, типа там. Потом что-то проснулся. Короче, пошел спать, 2 часа поспал, встал. Чуть не хотел спать, я пошел играть. В одно заведение, так сказать. Что-то депнул 7к, проебал. Депнул еще 7 проебал, депнул ласт 5. Такой думаю, все, ластовый 5. У меня остается косарь. И с этого косаря до 95 газ в пол, нахуй. О, много как будет. Короче, чистым я поднял 70к. Я вообще охуел. Что-то там бонуску купил, там купил, блядь, дала, там купил, дала. Вот, ну, именно по чуть-чуть везде вот так поднимал. А особенно, бля, мне в последнее время заводят петухи часто. Я зашел в петухов, и там какая-то новая ставка появилась, что можно крутить слот. То есть, бля, раньше условно было вот так вот там. Типа 20, 40, 60, поняли, вот такие деления. А там новая ставка появилась, 37 рублей 50 копеек. Я такой думаю, что это за хуйня, какая секретная ставка как будто. Реально, я такой думаю, секретная ставка, покрутил по ней что-то так чуть-чуть. Думаю, ладно, куплю бонуску, купил за 5000, и она дала мне 28, что ли. Ну, кто шарит, я купил фиолетового петуха, и он разъебал всех, дошел до финала и проебал золотому. И я такой, ебать. Ну да, получается, зонер купил. Че, залетаем сегодня на матче? Ну, бля, ставки, по-моему, здравые. Как будто вот сегодня тоже аутсайдеры могут везде, кроме первого матча, взять. Не дай бог Нави карту отдадут, блядь. Не дай бог, сука. Не дай бог они карту отдают. You can stop. Да нет, там вообще состав, блядь. Мертвяки ебаные. Все те же, блядь, только Арди смылся надо. Ну, в PX состав. Какой не турик забрали, там смеха не турик, блядь. Супер дом, вот этот Египет, блядь, вы че, угораете нахуй? Я такой, блядь, ногами заберу нахуй. Че, угораете, блядь, какой турик, блядь? You can... Еще, мне кажется, кое разъебут. Ну, давайте посмотрим вместе. Еще, мне кажется, кое разъебут ликвид. Короче, матч кого-то 50 на 50, а кайф на них почти 4. По факту это матч 50 на 50. Вот эти кенты. Ну, бля, я здесь гений, окей. Но остальные кенты могут вопросики по ним возникнуть. Ну, как будто нормальная ставка. Ну, типа, матч реально фул 50 на 50 по силам. А то, что на одних 4, это неоправданно. Да и то, мне кажется, Кой предпочтительнее как смотрится. Тут польское трио там, блядь. А вот тут, вот эта ставка на этих чуваков смотрится как ЖБшка, реально. Как будто они так Витьков выебут. Тем более вы сами сказали, что Дестрина будет кикать. И если он знает, что его будут кикать... Бля, ну тут два пути. Он может и разъебать жестко, типа последний турик. Но почему-то мне кажется, он будет обосранно играть. Я знаю, что они очень ебут. Вы понимаете, на них какой коэффициент? Вы посмотрите. 3, блядь. 3. 3, нахуй. Короче, я на них поставил сначала 10 тысяч. Потом подумал, что они вообще 2-0 их прибьют, нахуй. Поставил еще на это 5 тысяч. А потом такой посмотрю, у меня 10к остается. Думаю, и еще 10 тысяч на них. Да не, я думаю, они их выебут 2-0 вообще. Высушат прям. Такие коэффициенты, потому что они просто, ну... По тегам. Эти играли там на туриках, а эти играли в тир 2. Но при этом они намного сильнее, я уверен. Да нет, как будто они их потушат. Как бы кто не перся, целая командная игра. Ну, потому что, конечно, я 80 тысяч поставил. Все, приду. Ну, в сумме на все ставки сегодня 80 тысяч я поставил. Они немножко команда настроения, но если в целом у них все норм, они их 2-0 высушат и выебут, даже несмотря вот на эту хуйню. Даже если вот так открыть, там Никодос просто в соло убил. Ну, тем более, как это турки, мы понимаем, да, что там может происходить. Не, как будто гилды выебут. Ну, может не 2-0, но выиграют матч точно. Я рискнул, поставил чуть-чуть не 2-0 тоже. То, что там Дюпри, говорят, мажор, не пропустят, все хуйня, блядь. Их все равно на 2-2, даже если ну, они пройдут, их выебут просто. Хотя там есть команды, допустим, которые Дюпри может обыграть. Допустим, Апексов они могут обыграть. Экстатиков, ну, в теории тоже. А вот все остальные команды, ну, хуй знает. Если кто бы не упал на 2-2, блядь. Да, Спирит Херойки, прикольный матч будет. О, поехали. А как думаете, такая чашка кофе, это адекватно? Или нет? Что думаем, это адекватно? Бля, не дай бог они карту дадут, не дай бог, сука. Ну не дай бог вы карту дадите. Бля, ну такой клип у Нави тренера, это пиздец просто. Нихуя. Опять будет улыбаться, если проебут?
A long day of Valorant is ahead of us, and it starts here. BBL and Navi, we're quickening the pace to get on into the game, and you can see the teams are down on the stage and ready to fight. What a matchup we have. Navi's opening of the season historically doesn't go too well. BBL going to hope to capitalize on that today.
Yeah, you know, they've had a few issues.
Подкаст Димайский нет, не слушал. О чем высказался? Ну, Димайс всегда что-то говорил. Мы же с Димайском хорошо общаемся. Димайск вообще охуенно чел. Вот казахи все охуенные чуваки, реально, я не знаю ни одного плохого казаха вот так. Какие-то все челики вайбовые. Да я и так знаю, что это баг тренера, что он, что его брат, да, ну в Нави Ликвид 2 тренера. Но, блядь, Асцент не забанить, а чё Нави забанили? Сплит? Схуяли, Нави банят Сплит. Потому что я их на праге тогда выебал. Ну, типа, короче, можно не Нави говорить, можно говорить, что это состав FPX, так и есть, это FPX состав. Я вот прям против них праги играл на сплите. А они нормально сплит играли, а какого хуя они его брали против турков? Если турки всю жизнь только Асценту умеют играть. Не, к тому, что нахуя не убрали. О, а что там закрали сзади? Уля-ля, можно я такой админшу? А чё Адрен пизданул? Ну Даур мог просто пиздануть без какого-то прям злого выпуска. А чё Даур сказал? Не может быть, что он какую-то хуйню сказал. У него все друзья русские, как бы, типа. Ну не только, и казахи тоже, я имею в виду много друзей русских. Так что вряд ли он что-то такое мог. Может, шутку как-то?
The guy had so many different ideas, so it's possible that they have something new. Now, obviously, something we need to really talk about is these new members on the team. The fact that, well, new is a word, because Pora has been here before and Elite has been here before, though Elite, I think, may have even been too young to actually play in the league. So they had their reasons with that one. Pora maybe not so much. And obviously, then on the other side of things, Reezy as well, who has come in for the squad. They have gone to the Turkish, the tier 2, but we always rave about Turkey in the tier 2. Those teams come in hot every single time. You look at the members of like Fireflux being pretty much every single member of that team coming into the league. The only thing I'll say for BBL is a lot of the talent I sort of expected them to go for, maybe a
BBL, да, но я не знаю, как минимум основного шагова нету. Может, что как заменили. Я не помню состав точно.
Who they've gone for, why they've gone for them, and more so, can Pora now actually lead this team to victory? Because in the past,
Бля, еще знаете что? Я не помню, когда я молоко открыл. А из-за того, что у меня обоняния и вкуса нету, я не могу понять, вдруг оно испортилось, я даже не почувствую.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised with what we saw yesterday if we continue down that path, but something in me just craves that Turkish jet. I'd love to see it here today.
Yeah, I think as well, if anything's going to be crazy, it's probably going to be on the Na'Vi side. I don't think that's normally the way we look at it. But it also, the other thing I ask at this point is, what do we consider crazy? I guess an ISO or a dead.
Какая может есть тогда?
Crazy, or if you just had like.
Бля, на самом деле баговое чувство.
Only something, because we've seen a lot of Gecko already. Like that was something that in the past you go, oh, you're running that as a niche pick. Well,
вот у кого такое было реально? У меня как будто во рту, вот на языке, на небе, везде вот такая пленка. И вот как будто из-за нее ты ничего не чувствуешь. У меня реально такое чувство есть. Вот как будто тупо из-за этого. Я просто ничего не чувствую. Как будто у тебя пленочка такая есть.
He's getting mad. He's mauling with you right now because he's got I think a 24-page document for this map alone. But ISO would be insane. That's something completely different, and we're not going to get to see it here. A little bit of a shift over, but as we expected, Kushner on that raise. Yeah, I had nothing really too crazy.
Что значит мясо можешь хавать? Не понял вопроса. Могу спокойно.
Obviously, Viper has been a mainstay. The only difference between these two sort of the initiators that they're going for, obviously, one team actually going in, having themselves that double in terms of a breach.
Бля, распик уже какой-то фишный гека, ее, блять, начинается приколдес от ангела называется. Да не, тут, блять, 5 дуликов можно взять выебать, так что похуй, don't fun. Надо только, чтобы 2-0 было. Только. Ну, вот он сидит, блять. Гений мысли сидит. Бля, я смотрю, какие щепки реально. Ну, у многих внутрира щепки, но я вчера вам рассказал почему-то. Пока мне свободно. Свой кивок, коуч. Это смешно. У него 15 карт в трекере в этом году. Ну и чё, может ранкет не играть, а играть праки. Если честно, вот, ну, выбору играть праки или ранкет, конечно, праки, блядь. Нахуя мне играть с уродами тупорылыми, которые вообще дупля не ловят? Или же поиграть нормальные праки против нормальных челов.
They're bringing something new to the table, and you never can underestimate that. I was talking to Lothar backstage, just saying during this offseason,
просто не играет ранки,
there is just no way to put these teams sure.
Играет праки. Я надеюсь, что они играли праки. Ну не дай бог я хуйню увижу. Чуть-чуть фон у меня присутствует, после того, как я на них сколько там, 140к въебал. Ну, 140 чуть фончик у меня есть. Тут, конечно, уже не 140, но все равно. Да не, как будто, блядь, не знаю. Они снова FPX собрались, Ардису комфортно, всем комфортно. Синода выкинули, который дупля не ловил. Которому сагу давали, он потерялся. Да не, как будто не должно быть прикола.
I think Angel's shift from the sky makes sense, right? When you're seeing that flash can still be.
В целом Нави угадывается так.
You can then breathe out the round like that. The curious swap, I guess, from BBL to quickly mention was Pora and Reezy just flipping agents. I wonder if that's a comfort thing. We'll see how that develops as time goes on. But now, with 50 seconds left on the clock and Navi very much tunnel visioned in, we're looking like an A push is about to come through. Viper utility already bypassed as they make their way towards the A site. Some space to be taken, but look how many players are still here. tucked in the back corners. These are angles that you have to clear on the way through. And if not, stuff like that's going to happen. Cushion are already on 2 in the third. The nade forcing Zipman out of position. Artist and Sugetsu left with it all to recover. And Artist does well to find the first, but the utility blocking him off. The shots coming his way, and the defuse already happening under their nose. There is no way
Как
to deny
продать,
this.
блядь?
The round is truly
Можно
in
продать хотя
BBL's
бы
hands.
за половину?
Yeah, great start for them as well. Again,
Проебали.
something that we talk about with Na'Vi is sometimes these
Ладно.
attack side executions can
Я,
go
может,
a
что-то не
little bit
понимаю.
wrong, but a lot of this was just that firepower.
Ладно,
We've seen it
вы мне вот
from
что
Kushner,
объясните.
from
Может, я не
Bora. These are
понимаю.
the sort of experienced
Какого хуя,
players
блядь, когда у тебя есть гека в команде, бомбу Рейза ставит? Ну, вы можете объяснить? Бомбу же Рейза ставила? Ну точно гека, по-моему, хотя у него был покемон. Вы мне объясните, какого хуя у тебя гека в команде? Ну просто Рейза так сидел, как ну там камера хуёво была, непонятно было.
Turkish aim, always something we're going to talk about, and here it's already on
Блядь.
Ascent. Yeah, next map up. Of course, it's BBL's map pick. There have been a few teams that have
чё Ардис 0
been
закупился?
foolish enough to pick Ascent into a Turkish team, and
Он
they've got the
дропнул, я
comeuppance
понял.
most of the time. For
Бля,
BBL,
ладно.
1-0 start is
Mitch,
perfect.
there's something you haven't highlighted.
I know.
I was expecting
I was about
that
to get
you
there.
even paused. Like, what's going on?
Little outlaw for
Чё
Angel.
там фон,
It's good
блядь?
to see. In a round like this, it's
bought back.
perfect.
Это не вы 140 тысяч
Artist
проебали.
has- Wait, so
Artist dropped
sorry, you're telling me Artist?
Ну да, сам
the
уёбарь
player
дропнул.
support is like Jet,
Считай, второй
Hooker
заебул
is
в команде.
Chamber operator
Yeah.
is dropping Angel
Yeah.
and Outlaw.
Look, I don't know what Angel's been cooking in the
О!
offseason, but this guy's obviously
Осознался
getting
один
back. It's
нажать.
a little slow
I
on the
just
trigger.
imagine him going, you left me, now you come back, you know, you do what I tell you.
Вот у него опять есть покемон.
You are there.
Вот у него опять есть покемон. Почему бомбу Рейза ставит?
Play, Angel.
Что за хуйня, блядь?
His place.
Yeah. Oh,
Вы что, больные?
shot. Sugetsu-
А нахуй гек... Ангел знает, как гек работает
A lot of
вообще?
guys are running light shields here.
Не, реально, Ангел знает, как гек работает?
Ability to fight, not great.
Может, он не
Shallow,
играл с
great
тех пор, как
start.
гека добавили?
You're still gonna be
Он вот
at
так
a
сидит,
disadvantage.
он вот так сидит на распиках героев, такой говорит: «О, а это что за слимшеди? Давай попробуем нахуй». А чё, так и было с Йоро раньше.
Some value out of this round and find a position to fight from. Good right click. Look, 10 damage is all they need to do to make it a one shot. Angel capitalizes on the damage done. Poor is already down, but
Не, реально, они понимают, как работает Йоро?
a little bit of chip damage. I was hoping for so much more out of Angel's Outlaw, but we'll see it again, I'm sure.
Не, реально.
Well, I wonder if we might see it again immediately.
Он
because
знает?
I'm just starting to look at the credits
Бля,
now
пойду
on
в
the
Твиттер,
side
что
of
напишу, типа,
Na'Vi.
Йору.
Obviously, the
Ой,
trade
Йору,
for
блядь,
maybe
Гека,
investing
можно
that
ставить бомбу
and giving
там.
Angel that extra little bit is the fact that now Artist is
Не,
coming into
реально,
the
он
round
шарит?
with some severely reduced credits. So,
Я понимаю, второй раз такое. У него же есть покемон ебаный.
yeah.
Почему на пистолетке, типа, Рейза ставит бомбу, а не покемон? А, что Рейза арбы фармит? Ну и что, блядь? У Гека тоже сильный ульт. Чё, у Гека тоже сильный ульт. Блядь. Как будто они этот раунд тоже проебут, я не знаю.
And the downside is they've got one weaker weapon. They can play around that just fine, especially when it's the player that's lobbing
Я уже
those
фан, не
flashes.
похуй.
It's going to be obviously it's not the same as a
Все, это те Нави, которых мы знаем. Те самые, блядь. Никакие это не FPX, это Нави.
Pick it up when you die.
Angel still looks like he's basically entry fragging.
Конечно, фон, блядь.
The majority of the duels you'll see, he's facing.
По факту они вроде одну пистолетку отдали, а...
It feels so incredibly backwards. I love the utility being used here by BBL. Forcing him into a position where he's clearly worried about being pressured moments after.
Кроме этого матча, ну потому что тут слишком скилл-гэп большой. Понимаете, о чем я? А сейчас так смотрю, что походу небольшой, блядь. Бля, вы понимаете, вот эта команда хуже футболистов. В футболках типа собраны все топовые турки, а это типа топ-2 команд Турции. Ну и чего? Почему бомба опять не... Ой, ебать. Не, ладно, это пифедрончик. Осуждаю. Так, у меня вопрос. Почему покемон опять бомбу не ставит, блять? Он реально знает?
Little bro going to be sacrificed.
Ну, они шарят за геком.
Elite is the last man standing, stuck in a corner. Still a nice shot onto Angel, but the guns are going to be retrieved, and Na'Vi, they're going to have their first round onto the board.
I mean, nicely done. I think they were in a prime
А
position.
он без бомб бежал, по-моему. Вот стой, покажите повтор. Он без бомб бежал. Там бабан в руках была у чела. Он изначально без бомб, бомб бежал. Алло. Он просто бежал вперед, типа как, ну.
Couldn't have went much better for them
Как дрон совы,
realistically,
блядь.
setting Na'Vi up for a round 4 where they are neck and neck in terms of the hardware and
Какой
also
фейк,
the
блядь?
economy, and then maybe even a slight edge to the
Нет.
economy on Navi's side where they'll have something to work with next round, but whoever takes this probably goes on a little.
Какой фейк, если они сразу заходят до конца? Фейк было бы, если они подошли, дали кнопки и съебали. Окей. Ну, они же сразу заходят до конца. Какой это фейк? Ладно, только фиг, мне нравится. Да, это слишком гениальный поход, какой-то фейк. Ой, бля.
Still got that crisp aim to give them the advantage. A little bit of a risk taken by Na'Vi and Angel, and well, he was actually the one with his ultimate online, so he actually had something that easily could have cleared that angle.
And with him out of the running, we've ended up pretty neck and neck, but the map controls the real problem. BBL blocked out. Oh, they're able to delay that plant a little bit. That's allowing some reinforcements, some damage done onto Zipan. This is starting to look a little better than before. BBL have at least got some control. That nade, though, will it push them out? It kind of pushes them, splits them, but no real after effect for it. Zipan flashed as he tries to use his ultimate, but oh no! He's missed the shot! The hitbox a little wider than he thought. Artist now has to clutch it all. The 1 versus 2. The defuse just about to be tapped. He's in the corner. They suspect it's safe gap though. He's inside the molly and they have no idea. The spray through the smoke.
Да? Это просто пиздец. Куда я ставлю? Это боты, блядь. Это просто алкаши играют, ебаные. Это просто алкашня играет.
Kill yourself and then
Алкашня!
Okay, the second one actually wasn't a bad play at all.
Look,
from honest, it was the
the
smartest thing he could do, but
Блять! И чё, Болик еще говорит, я ебал нахуй. Куда я ставлю, боже мой.
Good start for BBL and the weaponry.
Заебись за арбы нафармил, блять, вот для этой хуйни. Говорю, ангел говорит, что-то ламба заебала, хочу феру. Сейчас поработаем. Ну, может так каждый раунд играть. Ангер это я, блядь. Фу, ангер сейчас. Бля, я когда хуйню вижу, мне хуёво, реально. Чел просто с базуки, бля, каждый раз режим взял. Ой, бля. Да не, Шао потек. Я говорю, тут в составе 2 батька у Нави. Шао и Сугетсу. Самый батя это Шао, ладно, вот так. Сугетсу в перспективе батек. Но он типа может матч охуеть как сыграть, а Некс может вообще потухнуть так, что... Ну, у тебя не должно быть такого разброса. Типа, если там топовый игрок, ты можешь просесть, но не так сильно, блядь, не настолько нестабильным быть. То есть суть тир там 1-2 игроков в том, чтобы быть стабильно хорошим игроком. Даже ты можешь там не сиять, жесткие хайлайты не давать, но стабильно отыгрываешь, там даешь свои киллы стабильно. А, блядь. Ну, у Сугетсу бывает такое, что он может просесть так, что... А может и разъебать. Пиздец как. Когда стабильность найдет, будет вообще прям батя. А так самое стабильное это Шао. Прям самый батя это Шао. Всегда стабильно идет. Бля, ну с того раунда я охуел, как чел базуку зарядил. 3 сватча в год, тяжело держать форму. Это да. А чё турки вот tilты сидят, он чё ёбнутый? Вот реально смотришь на лица людей, сразу все понятно. Ангел тоже на них смотрит, говорит, да, их tilте, пацаны, блядь. Чё он за кружки рисует? Ну вот тренер, ну вот. Ну, типа, ну. Вопросы есть какие тренеры маленькие? Вопрос крестики-нольки хуярит, блядь, тетрадки. Просто крестики-нольки хуярит, блядь. Он говорит, стаканка? Ты куда крестик ставишь,
Like,
блядь?
round 4 wasn't exactly
Тут уже
like
мой
it.
долик,
Their
блядь.
game plan working. Five has
А, да, он реально арбы
I
рисует, слышите?
get why they're coming in.
Чтобы это, карася приводить. Это смешно.
Some issues. You know, you probably want to be winning those duels, but I don't know there's too much they can discuss about. Yeah, guys, try aim better. It's not really a strat per se. But with the timeout coming to an end, BBL one round ahead. Let's take stock of what they've got. Rolling Thunder close to getting some ultimates online.
Тогда, бля, у Нави дефолт. Они в тот раз это, с Туриковым вылетели. Они в тот раз с Туриковым вылетели. У них трейдер уходит, фул угорает. Ну, прям улыбается, прям радуется, охуенно. Ну, говорит, о, пососали как раз. А кинь, Кири Клип, посмотрим. Да-да-да, посмотрим.
Seeing the Dizzy use just to try and claim this control. Now we've already witnessed it once in this half, but BBL fairly happy to try and use the breach util to fight back.
Что-то BBL так рейтит 3Б играть. Но я смотрю, они часто вот так стоят. Типа Вайпер плюс Рейс на А, и вот эти пирожки 3Б играют. А я только сейчас понял, что у BBL тоже такой багнутый пик. Ни трап, нихуя нету. Не знаю, как будто Сайфер на этой карте на самом деле must-have. Хуйня. Бля, а так-то и в спину можно прожимать за КТ, когда нету никаких трап.
Solid Molly keeps back any reinforcements. Reezy has a tough task on hand. Zipban swinging around to blind side.
Молодец, чудик.
Through the smoke from Angel. That was a wild spam that just took down Elite. So you're missing so much utility. That was their
Какой вандал? У кого? Вот этот?
allow them back through.
Или прошлый,
Cut
который
off
был?
these attackers now. Navi have their pick of post plants with an orbital strike. There's no real
Не, есть такой вандал. Пизака, кстати. Розовый? Араксис это. Араксис или который этот... Последняя коллекция вышла, нет? Как это называется, не помню.
Question mark?
It can't be one, but he can do a lot of damage. This is such a ridiculous few shots from Pora, making things costly. Again, the economy is very good. In fact, every single member of Na'Vi goes down to basically just 2 players. And the thing is, that wasn't an investment. That was 2 save guns.
Бля, как будто даже не особо расстроен. Как так для вида. Чел улыбается, он чё вообще долбоёб? Он просто улыбается всегда. Посмотри, ему вообще похуй, блядь. Мы проебали, блядь, мы щипа вылетели. Кайф, блядь. Браво, нахуй. Не, это вообще пиздец. У него вообще, ну, типа, биполярка, нахуй. Что это такое, блядь? Что это такое, блядь? Бля, как будто даже не особо расстроен. Ну, бля, нет, там тренер фулбак.
Hopefully he won't lose to Billy this year.
I heard he doesn't even know who plays for that team.
Hopefully.
Плюс Дилан, я согласен. Че сегодня прибатики лутаем? Центры. Сегодня, короче, это такой микс сделаем фрибетов. Что-то буду в телеге разыгрывать. Короче, начнем с малого. О, а ты как раз, Кири, мне поможешь. А сделай-ка розыгрыш, ТГ. Ну, это такой быстрый розыгрыш будет, просто чтобы там разыграть, типа. Короче, 5 по 300, вот так. После этого матча сразу ебашим. 5 фрибетов по 300, типа. Не на час, ну, типа, блядь. А я даже не знаю, как сделать будет. Но это мы начнем с 300. Ну, в личку напишу чувак, кто выиграл. Ну, поставь 2 часа, похуй. А там, типа, время обязательно надо? Нельзя вручную нажать самому? Да, на 2 часа ставь. Потом еще один сделаем. Как, окей? Плюс 8 тысяч, Максан. Бля, я пожалел, что на овечкин так мало поставил. Я говорю, я так и знал, что он разъебет. Надо было десяточку зарядить. Я прям знал, что разъебется. Ну, типа, он же там уже
They
несколько
have a
матчей
small
вряд ли
gap,
идет.
but they're not quite ready yet. Spike's still making its way.
А мы на шариках тоже сделаем.
Most importantly, Xiao with the orbital strike.
Поделаешь, только цель на туре приехали, реально?
Nice kill.
Ну, им по похуй на это, не?
Artist down. He stood inside of a
Откуда
volley
такая
of the
инфа?
snake bite just to get that done. Evading death, 34 HP. Just about be able
Питтсбург,
to
да.
keep himself alive for a
Бичи
future
ебаные.
combat. They're watching for a flank right now, but with a Viper spit down, there's no need for BBL to go on flanks. They've got A pretty much on lock. They've left bathroom open. That's certainly going to be a worry in the next couple seconds, but it doesn't look like Navi have any intention of going elsewhere.
They've got so little time. Look how many people are on the site. 4 sat here waiting. This looks like it should be impossible. The spike is being planted. Little bro giving it a go, but now they have completely run out of time.
Ладно, у меня фон появляется, причем не маленький, блядь.
Hold once again these gambles facing off for
Ну,
BBL, and I
пикнали,
wonder if there's
напомню.
now just going to be that same
Ну,
sort of brute force
типа,
pressure
напомню.
being thrown in. Again, though, you have to start looking towards those
20 тысяч
finances. Like,
на
there is
2-0.
not a hell
Я
of
в
a
жизни
lot,
больше
especially
ни рубля не
towards
поставлю. Я
some
буду
of the
все
lower
ставки
players
против
over
них всю жизнь
on
делать.
Navi. It's
Клянусь,
not
не
really
похуй.
available.
По 10 тысяч
To
каждый матч
buy
будет
into
до
this
конца
round, I
жизни.
think the main thing
Пока не
that
сдох.
should, or maybe will, sort of help them a little bit is the ults, because they're actually doing pretty well in that sort of scenario. Got themselves an orbital strike as well, as you can see within the screen. That is a beautiful circle as always.
Excellent,
I'm
excellent
actually
work.
very artistic.
Yes, that's what the doctor said. And the A site, 2 players stacked up. It's your Viper, but again, we're seeing that same utility, that same wall put
Я не пойму,
time again.
турки по ГД 3Б играют, а почему Нави продолжают в Б ходить, если у них... Почему калаш у Ангела, а не у Сугетсу? Что происходит, блядь? Почему он так себя верит жестко? Почему он не даст калаш Сугетсу? Вот Сугетс пошел с Ги, 2 опена дал, блядь, все, вы зашли на А. Ты идешь, блядь, и просто ебало харкает, все, блядь, нихуя не происходит. Я не понимаю, в чем прикол, блядь, отдай Шао, отдай Сугетсу, отдай Зипану, он тебе дулит. Я не понимаю, нахуй он сам берет вандал, ну нахуя? Бля, это какой-то капитанский поступок, блядь, это, ладно, я бы сказал. Ну просто это тупо, блядь. Король капитан, у тебя есть такие, ну типа, имер жесткий в команде, отдай им, блядь, ну звучит логично, типа. Ой, бля. А еще у них получается на А ходить, и зачем-то Ангел колет в Б, нахуя? Ну типа, как будто можно фейковать просто потом за счет А. А они идут на Б так, ну, топорно, без фейка даже. Ебать там, ха, прикольно. Где ульты сразу?
With an aftershock down to 18 seconds. Players are getting close. They can even start to spam pretty soon with Xiao down. Oh, that spike's very close, but it is put down on the ground. Just about. Damage through the pit is massive. Sugetsu on 49. Artis on 77, and down goes the pit. Artis has to do it alone. It's only a 1v2 though. A very winnable fight.
Оправдывай, мужик. Я тебя продают завтра. Ой, все, блядь. Просто за мешок картошки тебя продадут нахуй. Все, блядь, куда я ставлю? Просто, блядь, ну. Просто друзья бухали во дворе, такие говорят, поехали на туре, го.
Yeah, it definitely is a map again where a lot of the time we'll talk about the defensive side being that favored of the two, but I feel like there's been a lot of opportunities that Na'Vi could have capitalized on. BBL, though, have done really well to sort of pull back a lot of these retakes, and that's the thing. I feel like their B site hold has been fantastic, and then their A site retakes have been very good, other than when Saigetsu just slammed them. So they have put themselves in.
Им похуй, блядь, смотри, он обидел, я ебал рот. Просто бизнесмены. Куда я ставлю?
Making his way back to the main stage. Obviously, we've seen him in the past on rosters like Heretics, even on BBL.
Нахуя он такое на лицо делает? Я же знаю, что он нихуя не может умным сказать. Ну, я знаю с первых просто. Что это просто бот. Он такое на лицо делает задумчиво. Блядь. Вот сейчас по макро пройдемся. Так, они там стакали. Если мы вот тут качнем, там будет окошечко, мы зайдем. А, нет, точно, блядь. Я же бот.
Didn't really do much damage as the season went on.
Так ладно были первые, ну да.
But Navi bounced back as always, as they literally always do.
Ну такой, блядь.
But they're hoping
Тонированную брать или нет? Хуй его знает. Страховка сколько там на нее еще, блядь. Можете пистолетку еще вторую залить, там страховка пиздец. О, еще авик появляется. Ну, я ебал.
Again, we're gonna see this early Viper screen place down.
Ладно, есть такие же со мной гении
I'm more so
и
just
страдальцы, кто
looking
на
at this
2-0
guy
я
here.
поставил.
It's going to be that aggressive push from Kushner. Bear in mind he has his ult online, so he can look to almost take that control early. Try and find someone out. Also has the operator. The rest of the team still going for that stack up, but hasn't really found anything. Bear in mind, they
Фончик у
responded a
вас есть?
couple
Ну,
of rounds
просто
ago
интересно.
with the Tiger. The Shao was lurking outside of this position, so he's very happy to just wait and hold on to this control. And
Да,
Shao
проверка
looking like he might be
материала,
about
блядь.
to walk straight into the
Лучше бы
front.
Нави проверили,
You
блядь.
know there's a good chance that Navi decide to initiate, well, obviously with the
Ну,
flash
наличие
there,
игры.
but having Thrash, if they spot you in an isolated corner, you are not getting out
Ну,
of
это
there
фейкбай,
alive.
это фейкбай, они
You need
просто
to make
качают
sure-
карту.
They just heard the-
Нормально, все тянутся, затепи. Бля, ну BBL? Вот как играют BBL? Рассказать? Просто одна расстановка на все, блядь, раунды. 3Б, 2А, Вайпер Рейс. Все, сука, раунды.
Bear in mind,
Ну это же пиздец.
has himself.
Если ангел такой не переколит, я просто амнакую его, блядь.
But it's whether or not they face into this.
Здорово, мил.
Bear in mind that Angel also has Thrash. This could be perfect. I imagine it's going to get shot or almost immediately, and it doesn't matter. Cushion is
Ну,
going
тут
to
ангел
land it
же.
anyway.
Ох, ты... блядь. Как будто я на резе играю, клянусь, блядь. Я также базуку нажимаю, когда, ну, типа... Все время забываю, что у меня вот это вот дилей есть. Ну, что она кастуется вот так, блядь. Секунду еще. Просто нажать участвовать, быть подписанным на Twitch, и тогда все. И напиши, что сегодня еще таких два будет розыгрыша. И еще будут розыгрыши другие на стриме, вот так напиши. Что таких же будет два в ТГ, и еще отдельно на стриме будут.
This just isn't looking good. Shao still has a molly, but a post plant is not needed. Not with time this low. Instead, they will face it.
Блять, он уже навелся.
They almost wish they had that molly lineup, but it worked out. It's all okay in the end. Sugetsu from this position, he just doesn't let you down.
No, he has been one of the more consistent players so far in this game. Even still, though, a close round and one that actually...
А за нами вообще кто топит в зале или что?
Teams sort of on the brink, more so for BBL. Even though they managed to win 3 rounds in a row, they were close.
Да, метка
And thus
была.
it means that, well, you got a showstopper still, save from the previous round. But by the looks of it, it may only be a singular rifle here. Now, if Na'Vi can grind back a couple of rounds, this ends 6-6, you're looking at a very good half. So, for the side of BBL...
Ну вот да, вот комментарий правильно говорит, что 6-6 сторона, в принципе, нормально выглядит. Но мне страшно, турки такие горячие ребята, которые... Знаете как? Если их зарядить, так сказать, дать им шанс... Они вот так все поверят и могут так выиграть. Какая настойка, блядь, кофе.
And it looks like that decision has been made, and a player was spotted, but the shot lands on top of the box. Navi have got a team kill under their belt. This time it wasn't Zipan going down, it was Angel, but look, it seems recoverable. Just 2 players left, damage across the board, though BBL making it insanely
Сугет Шау, когда я вижу два таких ника, мне не страшно. Ой, блядь, мне очень страшно. Ой, там еще ульта, блядь. Нет, 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 сразу бежать, сразу бежать. Молик, ты сразу бежать. А вообще он мог его...
Putting him in his place, Sugetsu's disrespected them in so many rounds, but not this time. 7 for BBL.
Yeah, it seems like those were the sort of 2 players you want individually to take that fight. You can understand the confidence in the Red Bull clutch from Sugetsu's. Okay, I've been winning most of my Angels. Let me take that 1v1. Let's know exactly where he is. Down and out. The fact is, though, it's... Maybe that molly kill, what did it cost?
Просто рожденные проебать, блядь. Все клатчи на этой планете, блядь.
We spoke about it with Boo. A man coming in that you don't necessarily expect to be right at the top of that board, playing more supportive roles. Pora is doing exactly the same.
Она бы не заделала в рукаве, браток. Если бы он захотел ультить, она бы не заделала в рукаве. Потому что в первую очередь надо плант, ну,
Takes the
План
headshot angle and
застанет.
goes, he's gonna
Он
peek.
уж точно не будет в рукав
And
давать.
rightfully so. Sugetsu's had a good game so far.
А если
Like,
даже если бы задело,
clutch to give Navi that
ты как
extra
бы... Он
buffer.
в рукав никак
He's
точно не
justified
побежит.
right
Это вообще
now
надо быть
instead.
300
They're
Q гением. Он бы
guaranteed
точно не
to be
побежал в
behind
рукав.
moving into the next half. The question is by how much. BBL search for an 8th round to close this
Бля, я
out.
просто в ахуе,
They've
честно.
already
Я в
seen that
таком
it's an
в
A. They
ахуе.
haven't got players that close by. Elite might even fade back into the smoke with the utility in play, but Kushner's not going anywhere.
Просто, блядь, как будто, блядь, Радианты против Голда играют.
He's coming around the back, taking every fight, and with Sugetsu low, 70 HP, surely not.
Ну, по телу, ноги,
Comes
блядь.
down to a
Ты
fraction
же видел,
of
что
how
дал
far.
ебальник.
But BBL will find 8 rounds by some
Ой,
miracle.
блядь.
That was unreal.
Это просто 8-4, блядь. На ровном месте, блядь. Почему стаки Ангела так хуёво играют? 2 в 1, 3 в 1, блядь. Ну уже в КС 1000 лет играл. Ну неужели не может мужикам рассказать, как матч выиграть на верочку? Я тогда так 100к и проебал, 140 тысяч, если быть точно. Люди 4 в 2 дали, 3 в 1, блядь, 4 в 1, нахуй. Столько раундов в одной игре отдали. Отдали 2 в 1 на бомбика, а Авик сейф убегал. Кто такой? Вообще, у кого-то такой раунд видели? Чел сейф убегает и раунд выигрывает. Это что такое, нахуй?
At this point, you know, no, that's too far. But anything else,
I cannot get behind that. But anything else, sure.
but anything else really is up in the air. You know, at this stage, from what we've seen of BBL on their
Не, я
defensive
клянусь,
side,
не дай бог это не
moving to the
2-0.
attack, a little bit more
Я
freedom
просто
for a
по
lot of their
10
players,
тысяч
a little
вижу
bit
их
more
матч.
pressure on individuals
Просто
and
нон-стоп
Navi
против них
on
ставлю,
their
мне вообще
setups.
похуй, блядь. На карту, не на
I am
карту.
starting to get worried. Again, though, with it being the
Мне не
opening
жалко, блядь.
match for Navi, I know this is kind of expected. We all know this can happen, but they can warm up. Moving into this second half, we'll see if they've got what it takes to keep this game alive.
А что, он без классика?
This tournament format doesn't really give you much time to warm up, though.
Ну что, он сегодня
two
дропнул
matches,
где-то.
you're out. 2 matches, you're in the playoffs, unless you're Fnatic, in which case it can be 1. Either way, it's already looking pretty bleak. Pistol round in a good spot, plenty of utility to try and deal with this. Wingman gonna try and get anything, but he's not surviving that one. And now getting anyone onto this spike is gonna be imperative. Running out of time to do anything, and now it's left all onto Artist. He's back on the
Время,
board.
бро.
He's got to figure out where Brave is.
Да,
Knows it
проебали.
now, but the time is ticking. The time is gone. He needs this kill immediately, and it is not happening. Another round on the board. Brave will seal it, and BBL, they're running away with this game.
If I'm not mistaken, Brave even got hit.
Не,
by
это
one of
просто
those
они
fallbacks,
тренинг
put them
какой-то,
down to a
просто
sliver
мешковина,
of
я хуй
health.
знает.
You know, there's been so many of
Не-не,
these rounds where BBL
люди, которые тренинг не
just
могут
edged
играть.
out the victory by a slight bit of health, a slight couple of seconds here and there. That's all they needed. The extra pistol round victory with such a lead at halftime. Tom, the odds are certainly stacked against now.
Бля, вообще надо посмотреть, реально. У меня, по-моему, осталась самая топовая группа для праков в Валике. Ну, может, там, бля, могли кикнуть за инактив. Бля, надо было просто смотреть, реально, Нави праки ищете где-то. Пиздец может мониторить, и кто какую карту ищет. Ну, прикольно.
Scrapping the content ideas for later today.
Нави сам един при врага.
Don't make him cry already. It's his first day back. Like, come on.
They don't go easy.
Not on Marcus, at least.
Nor do BBL, from what we've seen so far.
Да не, я не верю в
They've
такой
been
камбэк
playing
уже.
one hell
Тут
of a game,
проебная
and
ставка.
this is the squad that we were hoping
Они
to see
обостренно
last year.
просто играют.
You know, I think
Ну чё,
BBL,
базука, ну, в ящик уярит.
not making it to international events and whatever, that aside, it's about being competitive on the server, and I feel like they fell flat in a number of games last year. If they can keep up this kind of performance, they've got something special.
Well, that's the thing. This was the proper rebuild. This is where the fan favorites unfortunately had to go, and the one that the players
Ему ждали
that
бомбу
make
всё
things
равно.
competitive have joined the roster. An after plant that leaves very little to be desired. Dizzy going through.
Да,
Has
это
left
пиздец.
players blind, but they just don't have the weaponry to compete at this stage. Being slaughtered by everything that's on the board. At least getting a few kills along the way. But Elite will be there
Я
to
думаю,
close
если
it.
сейчас
I
ребята
believe
скилла
the
набрать,
extra
по
rifle
принципу,
will be
Нави не
saved,
трахнет.
and All that's really lost is the SMGs.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, perfectly reasonable.
Мы тупо переколем, вот так вот могу сказать.
10 rounds on the board like we expected, and now the chance for Na'Vi to fight back. They're one away from an orbital strike. They're getting rifles on the board.
Я не знаю, зачем это Зипана держит, блядь, это просто бот. Я не понимаю, реально, нахуя.
This is a true bonus round
Yeah,
for
they're
them.
going to play as a bonus. They're not going to invest
Нахуя?
into all of those extra weapons, which they probably could have done, but it's more so just to make sure that they'll have a decent purchase.
Почему мне с него не взять себе игрока, если на русском разговаривать?
If you look down at the ultimate orbs, there's not really anything particularly close. They can maybe try and fight for Graves ult to come online, but realistically, you see the challenge coming through on B long from Na'Vi.
А Ардис, по-моему, знает русский, нет? Я не помню, просто знает русский или нет. Тогда его тоже нахуй кикну.
But after the early show over on that A site, BBL are going to start making their way back. And that's the thing, when you find that control, you don't spot anybody, the Dizzy doesn't get anything. That's why you start rotating your players away. Playing into this in the late round, just look at that rotation already. You can see it on the side of Angel. He's going back towards that A side. In fact, it looks like Xiao's going to join him. And finally, that execution begins, but the fact is, there's nobody here anymore.
You know,
and it came off a little bit of utility from BBL, putting up the Viper wall.
Можешь ссылочку тут спамить на Кире. Я что-то не понял. На, Дибгану не стали давать.
Pores managed to sneak his way into a position you might not expect. They've just taken the site, remember? They're clearing it, but only...
Это просто пиздец. А, они даже не вместе идут еще. Блять, это просто пиздец, это просто... Чисто голда играет, нахуй. Они даже не вместе идут спину выбивать. Против пистолетов, блядь. Вы чё, ёбнутые? Да не, Б дали они, потому что Гану не хотели отдавать. Ну, вообще, это такой довольно очковый путь, но... С одной стороны, верно. Что ты понимаешь, если там бонус, ты отдашь калаш, что у калаша просто всем ебало поставится на ретейке. Это типа можно понять, окей. Это, конечно, так чуть очково выглядит. Типа на фулл сейв, но похуй. Потому что они по одному так в спину идут. Знаешь, что там вот, ну, как бы пестики, и что вот так чел может скоркнуть, забрать стяган, прийти также на бомбу и разъебать.
Well, early strat here seems to be B-centric. 3 players here, flash down long, and a big push from Angel. But they've seen that there's no one here. He even used his own flash. I believe they had artist.
Вообще надо было ссылочку, наверное, на винлайн добавить, Кирюх. Уже нельзя, наверное, да? А, можно. Ну, напиши вот так, если кто не зареган, ссылку. Ну, возьми там из поста выше. И промокод люк. Так, 5-3. 5-3. По лампам нормально поработали. Шарик когда разыграем? Че, хотите еще матч ёбнуть или нет? Я просто думаю, а когда мы успеем, блядь? После матча я уже не высижу. Я спал 2 часа, я охуею просто. Нет, в шариках? Сань, лучше не выписывай, а то в свет польется инфа. Ты просто не видишь, что они делают, Сань. Это просто пиздец. Это просто пиздец, Сань. Это, ну... Я даже в EC Advanced такие темы, ну, такие схемки не мутил, как тут. Я хуй знает. Но если люди это еще не намеренно делают, я в ахуе вообще. Реально, посмотри твои до 520, ну, блядь, даже я там, даже там я так не играл, блядь. Ну, сгорел пару раз в молике на тачке, подумаешь. Да, Сань?
Waiting for your opponent to make a mistake, not a bad idea. But they've just showed you they're playing a tight game, so BBL call it pause. Now it's time for them to bring their A game to the server.
No, I think it's important, especially on the attack side of this map. Like we've seen a few
Бля, мне сегодня это курьер должен позвонить, надо не проебать.
Throwing in extra duelists, throwing in like Yoros and stuff to bypass a lot of the utility. That's not really the case for BBL. Okay, you have the breach, which definitely gives you a little bit more in terms of setup. But when you have that Sky, especially now that it's been nerfed that little bit extra, you're going to be looking at, okay, you have a couple of flashes per round, they're not going to regenerate into the late round, so you can't have these extra little burst plays. And also the main reason you'd have it is for the defensive side information. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually get things moving. And it can very easily get out of control, especially with a team like Na'Vi. Let's be real, more than maybe any team in the world, they have been down many times, but they are never out. So getting in that early pause, I respect it from the coach.
Кстати, а это, что там устроились?
They're not going to be buying. They don't really have much to play
Ну,
with. We've
блядь.
seen a few pistol plays here and there.
Читаем нахуй.
Has been sublime. Can they pull anything out of the hat to just get them closer, get them to that 11th? Because if they win this map, they're heading on to Ascent, which, as said, no one wanted to play them on
Да
Ascent.
читаем,
Literally
блядь.
no one. I think they wanted the
Жаль,
only team
карту
to take
отдали.
the map off Fnatic, right? It was
Ну
insane.
просто на победу, не знаю, я не ставлю такие коэффициенты 1-3, 1-4, такая хуйня, блин.
Considering how the previous season went for them, you know, it really just highlighted it again and again and again for us as time went on, over the years even. You just do not face Turkish teams on this map. And for Na'Vi, they've taken the risk. If it doesn't go well for them on this, they're in a lot of trouble. But, you look, they're 4 behind.
Ебать, Ардис бежит. А чё им похуй? Что, брать? Алло?
Based on what we saw yesterday, that means they're going to win the game. Because teams were just...
Ну, ваши лампы давно уже могли занять, ему вообще похуй. Ебать, он с флешкой в руках уверенно стоит. Бля, мне, не, это вообще пиздец. Мне очень страшно за нами. Они же понимают, что они отдавали, ну, что под стеночку спокойно могли пройти.
Oh, that's a little awkward. Nice shot by Kushner as well. And now it's getting scary. Elite was by his side. The trades are going the way of the attackers, and Artist does well to at least pull it back to reality. 11 HP on Kushner.
Да не, они так неуверенно играют. Я надеюсь, что это тупо из-за того, что первый матч, первая карта. Вот можно списать, вот последняя надежда для них. Я спешу это на, ну, такой фактор, как первая карта, первый матч. Надо почувствовать турнир. Я спешу это на это. Ну не дай бог, блядь. Я увижу это на второй карте.
Somewhat starting to stabilize after what was again a very shaky position, but you have to bear in mind as well, showstopper used.
Какие BBL? Нет, вот на французов сегодня вообще чисто. Да тут, Сань, поставь на французов сегодня. Хорошая ставка, пиздец. Сегодня третий матч будет, последний. Джентльмены. Против Виталити. Да. Это по мне очень хорошая ставка. Я не видел, как они прям, ну... Я не видел, как они прям, ну, лично за ними смотрел. Я просто по результату видел, что они, ну, типа, ёбари. А витки, блядь, там, тем более, чела будут заменять. Короче. Потому что на тир 2 сцене они всех ебали. А тут, знаете, тир 2, тир 1 валики очень размытое понятие. Реально очень размытое понятие. Есть у челов хороший тимплей, хорошая стрельба. Ой, ебать, хорошая флешка. Хоть не в стену, блядь. Тише, 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 тише. Тише, тише, Кирюх. Тише, 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 тише. Ну ебать, разогнался. Старичок, блядь! Вынимай! Хорошо, блядь. Ну вот это разве тир 1? Так, бро, вот когда я сказал фразу, что валики это понятие очень размыто, я к этому веду. Я вижу, как играют вот типа, якобы, номинально тир 1 команды. По факту нихуя не тир 1 уровень. Если мы говорим, что как должно выглядеть строго, там четко. По стрельбе, там по раундам. Нихуя подобного. Любая тир 2 команда так спокойно переедет вообще. Просто, понимаете, валики еще так устроено, что не очень прикольно. Допустим, в КС там, да, у тебя куча квал есть и так далее. Там на дримхак можешь попасть еще куда-то. Ну и вот так пробиться. Но сейчас стало сложно из-за того, что всякие хуесосы с радарами играют там и так далее. Вот, а в целом-то просто валики вот Ривут взяли во франшизу людей, и все, они играют, блядь. Ну, хотя многие команды, есть намного, ну, более достойные команды, чем которые там играют. Вот сегодня будет апсетик. Я говорю, сегодня битки нахуй летят. Просто все хвалили джентльменов пиздец как, что они жесткие, ну ёбари. Я лично не видел, как они играют, только результаты видел, вот так. Вот там говорили люди, которым я доверяю, вот так, поэтому... Их оценочному мнению доверяю. А пиздец, как сложно разговаривать, когда не спал нихуя.
Don't show it. Don't tell him. It's our little secret. Think about it, you know, from a I know you guys are like both Swedish and you should have some sort of like connection, but please don't do it. Yeah, just take a look at what BBL are working with before we kick this one off. It's such.
Ну да, и то, что вот такие перерывы, да, это тоже верно. Это тоже верно. Из первого под давлением играем. Бля, понимаете, пацаны, радары, вся вот эта хуйня, Go TV без задержки. Все это крайне сложно доказать. Почти нереально. Только если кто-то изнутри вот это сдаст всех. Чего? Они 3 ульты въебали, чё? А чё турки? Он чё сумасшедший? Они 3 ульты уже въебали на эту хуйню. Вы чё, больные? А, там еще 2 молика. Ну хуй знает. Ну хуй знает. 4 ульта. Ну вообще похуй. Ну 4 ульта они въебали. Хуй знает. Хуй знает. Мамкиновые лайнаперы. Бля, на самом деле это проблема Валика. Что ты вот лайнапу никак сгодрить не можешь. Как будто нужен герой. Не как Кио, который тушит молики, типа, или как-то дизейблиты. Ну, поняли? Вот так, на ретейке. Мне кажется, этого не хватает Валику. Будет метовый герой. That's not a BBL round. That's not something like when we talk about BBL, we talk about Dragon Vandals and headshots. Like those are the things. Должно быть ультой. Ну, над механикой можно подумать, как это выглядит. В целом-то. Кунки сделал, чтобы отчитать смогать, как его лайнапы. Ну, кстати, может быть. Кстати, вот это прикольная идея. Типа, если ты не хочешь, чтобы так происходило, ты его, как бы, шарик сразу бьешь. Ну, чтобы он стал проницаемым, не стал. Ну да, кстати, прикольно было бы. Я согласен. Не понимаю, что 11 тут. Нигде не так много, похуй. Нави просто раунд взять и все. Просто раунд надо вот этот забрать. Они там ебать ультов проебали.
It's not a terrible position considering they did end up burning up so many of the ultimates. Still, post-plant Viper's pit is so scary.
Он смог очень плохой дал.
They will be looking to get that down on the B side. You can see right away, stun, blast pack up, although Kushner slows it a little bit. His teammate's not as close behind as he expected at first. This is a full long play. Is there potential TP? I mean, they're going to just burst out long. Yeah, they are. Yeah, this is a huge gamble. They don't have anyone there. Luckily, when you have a breach entry frag like Pora, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Winning the aim duel again versus Sagetsu. And they are going to get this site now for free. A quick TP through with the majority of players spotted. Smoke off into Hookah and a little bit of a from Angel, but they now use that final ult of the collection to get themselves into a strong afterblast. Ooh, the counter flash is not in time.
Бля, просто, ну, ладно. Да все такое не ретейкнут, блядь. Бля, цирк уехал, клоуны остались, блядь. Бля, это просто пизда. Какой позор ебаный. Просто ебаный позор, блядь.
Yeah, and the thing is, this round again, it's something simplistic from BBL. completely taking on
Говорю,
that
10 тысяч каждый матч против Нави. Всегда, всю жизнь. Всю жизнь, блядь. Это как мой пенсионный фонд, я буду туда вкладывать, поняли?
Because Pora wins that opening duel, and the second they get into the flow spot, that's where they have their ideas. That's where they have the, okay, I'm going to bait for you, you're going to work with me, because we know what ultimates they have online. Sometimes that's all it takes. Keep it simple. Do something to work off the trading, the fundamentals for
BBL,
right
блядь.
looking good. And wow, at 12-8.
Это просто пизда.
One round away from taking the lead and going on to the Turkish hometown of Ascent. Navi got this right again.
A bit, a lot.
Минус 20-ка.
Very tough position. Stringing together 4 in a row is not going to be easy.
Ну, 4 раунда как будто не так много на бинде за КТ, но я не верю, блядь, они хуёво играют, не знаю. Было пару прикольных моментов реально у Нави. Ну, таких дефолтненьких. Ну, самое прикольное, как под флешку вот тут закомбинили, душевых, еще что-то. Как лампы ретейкали. Неплохо. Но в целом, как будто по стрельбе просто турки сильнее. Просто по стрельбе. Нави просто не могут перестрелять их, блядь. Это просто пиздец. Они дали Кио, Молик и Прима. Го еще ну, а чё? Надо было Вайперу Молик тоже кинуть дефолт. 2 Молика? Ну, мало. Если Вайпер даст, вот это имба, блядь. 2 это мало, вы чё гоните? Чё Вайпер не кинул? Не понимаю, блядь, может договаривались. Да, BBL без фейков играет всю жизнь. К сожалению, Ангел, ну, вряд ли это поймет когда-то. Да, это просто пиздец, нахуй. Блядь, это такой позор ебаный. Не, это просто позорники ебаные.
For EMEA's kickoff as BBL get off to a flying start. Their map pick, the Turkish map, up next.
Yeah, this is a very, very scary place for Na'Vi to be at this stage. They come in as one of the favorites for the tournament, a singular change, one that most people thought of as an upgrade. And while it's an overhaul for BBL, people probably expected at least a few teething issues along the way, but the fact is, we've seen Pora come in, we've seen the whole team look fantastic. Either way, it's not our job to break it down. There's a break, and then the desk.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces. Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't ask about Lola. Ay, Caballo Grande. Ay, Dolor de Nieve. But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin, former professional Counter-Strike player and Valorant coach. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle, you're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.
You're stressing right, you need some meditation. Don't let them ruin your vibe, no time for rumination. Let's leave it all behind, take a flight, aviation. Want you girl by my side, let me show my appreciation. I want you here with me, I'm it's necessary. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, babe, 7 days, are you ready? I don't need to say you know it, girl, you're extraordinary. I want you here with me, I miss your body, baby. No, I cannot believe that you're still single, lady. Wishing I could retreat. I want you here with me. Be my lover, be my trophy, be my woman, be my lover, be my trophy, be my.
Oh, Forza BBL. What a start it is for the Turkish team, and also the return
Я
of
хуй знает.
Aura to VCT as well. As you guys can see him here in the AIM Labs warm-up. Not that he really needed the warm-up, because he absolutely popped off today. I'm your host, Yingsu, by the way.
Я в
I'm
ахуе.
here in the studio with Lothar. Lothar, welcome back. New year, new BBL.
Просто
And
в
what a time for
ахуе.
you to come back. They look great.
I'm insanely excited for this new phase of BBL, and it seems like it's a tournament for upsets because
Да.
BBL is going to win against Navi on their first map, but they also represent very good teams.
Да не, я думаю,
So,
турки все равно не возьмут
actually
BO3.
winning a round 8 from the map on their defense when BBL showcases
Да, погречился на 2-0.
and in that round
Может было подождать чуть кафель, да.
something that we typically see. This is actually round 19, unfortunately.
Но я не буду себя больше жизни на не поставлю, мне похуй. Я буду против них всегда ставить. Либо просто скипать матч, либо против них только. Я больше жизни на них не поставлю, это просто пиздец. Просто позор ебаный нахуй. Позор, блядь, позор. Смотрели игру престолов? Где Серсея шла, и вот так камни кидали, вот так кричали, позор, блядь. Позор, нахуй. Надо логотип Нави там сделать, ну, типа. Поняли, поставить? Реально, сделайте это вообще гениально будет. И где вот этот позор, блядь. Сделайте, это вообще в телегу запущу. Не, это просто пиздец, блядь. Челы вообще, ну. Мне кажется, вот это дуо просто брить, что-то может получится. Пик бинт. На, кстати. Пик бинт. А сейчас лучшая карта турков на планете, блядь. Они родились на этой карте. Ботви. Давайте пишет Ботви, блядь.
They've already won bind, and traditionally Ascent is the map that is a guaranteed win every single time BBL.
Ладно, похуй. Я... Ну, в одном матче я сегодня уверен вот в этом, что они выебут. И там как бы, ну, все бабки камбэкну. И вот тут, я думаю, кое тоже выебут. Там старый состав еще.
A lot of changes happening. We're gonna see the Jets typically, the Chaos, the Killjoy, and then most likely just standard Omen. Sometimes we see the Brim in case the more, let's say, basic heavy teams want to be with the Brimstone, but I don't anticipate
Ну, РГГ, не
a
знаю.
lot of changes in the compositions, but I would love to
Ну,
see.
потому что изначально несколько сайтов было. То есть ЛТВ такой древний сайт 6.1.6, как бы, да? А вот Валик появился, там и Спайк, Грашка, как там называется, Спайк, ГГС, и ВЛР, короче. Не знаю, почему просто ЛТВ не сделали, как бы, ну, по Валику сайт, все. Хуй знает. Ну, и вот на этих мужиков я ставлю, что они должны сегодня выебать.
Even though the map is simplistic in nature, but yes, BBL, Navi is a team that we expect to always come up with something different, something weird, but then somehow ineffective. Like we just seen combined, right? There's
Spirit 2.0.
From Navi. You can see that they have a set idea in.
Не знаю, никогда с нерцем могут карту отжать точно. Опасно, опасно. Тем более, вот как Спириту справиться с давлением, то что... Ну, видите, их так ёбнуло разок. Надо посмотреть. Может, у них сейчас чуть не пойдет. Ну, как будто 3 карты вполне может быть. Такое, короче.
And we all probably remember the biggest clutch of ever happening on the scent with artists, right? That was insane. I think that's one of the clips for the ages. Whenever someone asks for like that clip that made you be excited for Valorant esports, I think that's the clip.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the agent select and see if there's going to be anything very fun out here. Not so much, but we do get the Cypher.
Yeah, there's a difference between the Cypher and the Killjoy here.
Странно, а где Йору отправили? Еще как хуйня.
A-side, which is the, let's say, opposite of Killjoy. Killjoy's fantastic on the B side when it comes to stopping the initial push.
Чё тут не взяли? Где какие, блядь, еще Sky, не знаю.
Has a unbreakable trip unless you use utility on the entrance of it. There's also a very nice trap on tree that stops the initial push from.
Наверное, у меня еще в экспрессе стоят, что они выиграют просто. Блин, как будто они сами должны забрать. Ну, вот эта карта сложная будет. Как будто вот эта потная будет карта, а третья в салат. Но я на них в жизни больше не поставлю, я ебал рот. Наверное, вот это будет потная карта, как будто 13-10, 13-9 Нави выиграют, а третья в салат будет. Да не. Слишком сказочно звучит, что били 2-0. Но вообще, в отличие от своих братишек, BBL хорошо карты распекали. Вот как по мне, вот Винт, Асцент и Бриз звучит, ну, карты в БУ3 звучат так, что одна команда турецкая. Ну, на стрельбу, и Асцент, и Бриз фулл на стрельбу. Особенно Бриз. А вот в то же время, как футболисты, да, карты распикивали, что они сами взяли бинт, блядь. Типа, очень, короче, очень хуёво распекали карты в футболике. Вот тут BBL в этом плане поспортали. Но опять же, BBL такие ребята, которые ни разу фейк в жизни не делают. Никогда не фейкуют. Вот будь я капитаном, я бы их просто взрывал. Я бы их, клянусь, взрывал. Ну, давайте так, ну, именно в плане колов. Я бы их читал, пизда как. Но... И просто единственный вопрос по стрельбе еще. Прочитать балл я могу заколить, там, знаете, 4Б ставь. Они идут Б и сразу всем ебало дают. Я играл с BBL дохуя праков. Очень много. Когда у них состав сильнее был, чем этот. Я играл с ним дохуя праков. Я там как бы так и колил. Мы играли Ascent, мы с ними дохуя Ascent играли. Мы стаком 4А. Челы просто выходят и, ну, всем поебал дают, все. А, что? Все. Что? Ну что еще заколить? Если как бы люди не могут крестик нести на голову, все печально будет.
See, there's a high risk of me jinxing something here, but I don't care. I feel like Artis is going to come out with like at least 25 kills in this game. I don't know what it is. I just see him go back onto that jet.
О, прикольно. А, это вот это обновлено, наверное, как раз и есть. А где Глоры были на прошлой карте? Только сейчас подъехали.
And I also think this is going to end up being a very defense-sided match because that's something I've learned from BBL. So the sort of expectations there to do some damage, of course, at the moment. Scoreboard is the wrong way around.
Is it?
Yeah, just for anybody who didn't.
I thought there
spot
was some background contractual changes after that.
just so yeah, that should be on the other side.
Well, also, Navi, you're not attacking, so more so the names. But yeah,
Okay, sorry.
We'll
this
get there.
should be here.
There you go. You're loving this tool, aren't you?
Yeah, I really needed to do that. I saw Steel do it yesterday. I was like, I can do that. So
I can
now
do
I'm
it.
just highlighting their names.
I think you're doing just as good a
Was
job.
that production? Stop doing that? Okay, cool.
Yeah, for Navi, at this stage, on that defensive side, 3 Bulldogs, 2 pistols. It's a nice buy, a comfortable one. It lets them lose a few players to just the all-out aggression of BBL, the death ball that we saw yesterday from a separate team. And, you know, if you're BBL, damage the name of the game, but you've got to get 3 kills before they really feel the sting. Maybe just strip some shields, so they've got to reinvest those credits.
Ну, вообще так-то на Нави хорошая ставка. Как 2.
For anything
Я говорю,
significant.
бэтрейн заберут.
And I think you're getting to see that firsthand. Nice stuff for Artist. The key thing being, with him picking up so many kills, now halfway towards a Blade Storm.
Yeah, obviously that's one of the things that's happened over time is these ults have increased quite a bit for moments
Thank
like
God.
that. So that
Yeah.
you don't get him on like a round 3 Blade Storm, but
And we've seen it.
the fact is they're handing him over the rifle, they're handing him over the Vandal, because that's the thing, he is genuinely someone that can just take complete control of this map. I think it was something that they had with CNET as well. It's just that ability, and that's why this map has been so strong for them. I think the one thing I'm a little bit sad about is that we're not seeing Xiao on the Fade.
А чё с Гудом
One of
так?
my favorite things about watching Navi on this map is he was a Fade specialist, but it seems like he has switched more so into that controller role
Типа команд нету?
now at least.
А, ну ладно, сейчас уже меняют. Да, плохо бывает.
Obviously just
Продакшн не заметили.
get everything correct, and what a start again. The dart coming out, I think that was a self-assist for Angel. He's going to throw that one out and get the kill with the wall bangs. Not what BBL were looking for. As I said, I expect this to be very defense-sided, but when you're playing up against what will be a slightly weaker buy, that's where you need to capitalize.
I love to see some sneaky beaky little wall bangs, and well, we're already off to one hell of a start on this map. Ascent is a home ground for it, really. Excited to see when we eventually get that Odin out. For now, Bulldogs, the bonus weapons in play for Navi as they attempt to fight over control of the site. But look who's down below. Sneaking around was Xiao. He's being caught. Good clearance by BBL. Good protocols on the way in. And no losses to report because of it. Nice and safe. You can't wallbang through that many walls, Zipman. Certainly not with that gun.
Considering they lost their jet early, the fact they got into the site and got into an afterplant is impressive. The problem is they've lost their lurk. They've lost quite a few players. In fact, Angel will eventually go
А
down.
чё, Ход вернется?
Kim without too much of an option for a trade.
Сейчас, ребятки, свет.
Players stuck within the site. Elite this time, looking for a battle, but the trade is quick and leaves Reezy alone, left blind in the corner. Still manages to isolate the jewel though. Turned into the 1 versus 1 and a nice attempt, but Sagetsu eventually will hit himself the headshot. A 3rd round in a row, a flying start for Na'Vi. Already looking like they're back to their old tricks.
Yeah, kicking it off with confidence, definitely an important factor for the Navi squad, considering how things went previously. And seeing some innovative plays, the trapwire and pistol, the recon to wallbang here. You know, a lot of things have been going right, and that's exactly what you want to see after how the first map went down. Now we move into round 4, and thankfully they've left BBL with not a whole lot to work with. Credits are going to be pretty low, a stinger, some pistols, and 1 rifle. It's in the hands of Kushner X. So far, yet to get a kill, but attack side of Ascent playing as a jet, he is going to have a few rounds where the impact is negligible.
You have to hope so, otherwise I think they're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
The thing is though, this is a map where Na'Vi are really playing comfort picks. Like Sagetsu back on a Cypher, Artist back on the jet. Xiao can play anything, so I don't think that counts. Zipman on a KO, like we always talk about his
Да,
range.
бля, просто им доставка должна
It's
приехать.
been phenomenal.
Я вот не
So
понимаю, что им
it
даже
will
не
be one of
звонят.
those frustrating things where, as always, if this works amazingly well, you're going to sit there with Na'Vi.
Мышку должны себе
You
привезти.
could just play basic stuff and you probably win most of your games, but
That's not Angel's style,
no,
man.
no, if it's not creative, it's not fun.
На ваксе буду
And
играть.
in a way,
Ебать, чит.
I agree. You know, we were having the conversation backstage last year. There weren't as much variety there wasn't as much variety.
We've already
as
seen
we've seen.
like Phoenix coming back on this map, so that's what I want to see.
Nice dash. Not much to be found, but again, it's about space. The nade has denied all of that space. Zipan just completely stopped that plan from working. Jet dash in, take advantage of the chaos by spilling into every angle and find the trades. You can't do that when you're going to die to a grenade on the way in. So well timed by Zipan, good reaction, and that's given Na'Vi all this room to breathe.
30 seconds left.
Now what? 30 seconds.
Я говорю, быстрее не
You're going
заберут.
to try and push into a site where there's still shock darts available. They could even, well, they could get a cage in here, but the fact is, Sagetsu hasn't moved because the spike could still go rotating back in the other direction, but the rest of the team are all stacked up. At this point, it almost gets to a position where BBL just have to die. Just go in to make sure that you get the extra finances. A nice couple of shots, but there's Artist once again. I said at the beginning, I think he's going to farm on this map and already
Ой, бля.
have that blade storm available.
Просто по факту на Нави
after
катить
just
бабу
4
после
rounds.
карт.
There
Mana
has to be a
халява.
response soon, Mitch. Otherwise, I do feel like this is going to get very far.
То, что они объявили карту, дадут вообще
I
unexpected.
have to commend Zipan because you talk about his age, and I think it's such a good highlight of it. Just the fact that he has that timing, like what a timing it was.
Секретный залив на Нави, как думаете, был он?
I love to see it, and it's even going to push BBL to calling a pause. Now 4-0 down. Their map pick. They don't want to let this one slip. But going over to Breeze, we don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah, and that's actually a map where in the past Na'Vi really did cook some things up. They were running Yoru yonks ago, and it bugged
А это что за клип вообще сидит?
over again.
Кто такой, блядь?
Kind of predictable.
Просто разыграли место, блядь,
But I imagine they're
среди,
going to have some
ну,
interesting stuff there. And it's always been
подписчиков,
again,
блядь.
you can highlight him on almost every map. It was a very, very good map for Sagetsu. So I think that they do have to be careful, especially going into their own map.
Вот турков, конечно, если их сейчас, ну, в ноль прибьют на этой карте, типа, уверенность в себе сильно пошатнется у них.
Not only are they getting their finances back in track, although I say that there's still going to be a bulldog in play for Pora, but more importantly, their ults are getting close. They can actually go for the orbs and get a couple of ultimates online in this round, so I wouldn't be surprised if they attempt that. And on the other things, well, the main thing will be is disruption. And I'm looking at Artist right now. He has got himself a Blade Storm available and is currently setting up over in towards that short position. So he's likely to do something very aggressive.
Yeah, this is somewhere that Artists can really stick it to you. Take your early game plan and make sure it does not work. Smoke.
Ой, ебать.
Right down in his spawn. Out comes
Прикольный
the
комбинат Нави.
so low. He knows he hit a few of those
Реально
shots.
прикольный комбинат Нави.
That forces him right back. Unfortunate for Artists not being able to capitalize.
Паранойю еще
We look
накинули.
elsewhere on the map, and the B side under
Прикольно,
threat,
ладно.
trapwires ready. Some more wall
Реально
setups
хорошая
by
комбина.
the looks of it.
Такая на
Both of those
нежданность,
traps are in the
ножички
laneways.
реализовать.
They make their way through. They'll be able to catch
Здорово.
them, but nobody there to spam back. Angel
Осталось,
good on
блин,
the
выиграть, ну
Kushner at
и
least.
кайф.
That's something to work with.
Yeah, I believe one of his trips is to just catch somebody in the
Boathouse,
air. Yeah,
is
it
it?
is.
Oh, it's up top.
It's literally.
Так,
above
Дулик
to
это
catch.
Ардис.
Yeah, it's a filthy idea. It hasn't worked out this time. They've also got the
Просто от карты
information, but
зависит,
it's gonna be that
походу.
spam back of the ultimate.
И
Nice
что,
work
ну,
for
может,
Breezy.
на Резе Ардису не нравится играть. Зипан постоянно Резе же не играл.
Now it's left up to Shao, but it's Reezy to shut absolutely everything down. And now BBL, after a quick paced push in towards that B site, are going to have their first round on the board.
Yeah, I love that. Picking up the pace is what we needed to see. I was a little worried about the traps in play, but the dash went the other way, right? You didn't have the updraft dash oversight, which is really interesting. It's not often you see those trap wires here being put to play. I think on Split was probably the first time I saw people actively try to counter those updraft dashes, and now a little bit more depth added to it. I don't know if they will have even spotted that on the way through as well. That's the other, they didn't break it, so.
No.
But it's not like you'd be running into it anyways. So you're free to leave it once that updraft is used. 4-1 BBL, quickening the pace again, this time towards A.
Yeah, I like it. Try and put the pressure on. Saigetsu's here, but all of his
Good.
troops are on the other side of the map. Shao looking to try and support him. A little bit of surprise in the corner, but it's not going to do much. A singular kill, and then the trades are quick from BBL. A couple of players already here. The operator of Artist, the first to take the pick, and he's going to land the shot. But do they know there's a second player? I don't know if they've seen Kushner still within this corner. This is a nasty spot. They might even expect him to just be underneath, but he might not be needed whatsoever. Eventually, he's there to drop the man that is Artist, and now Angel. The late lurk coming back through. He's going to give away his position with this dart, just trying to find those couple of players. He knows that one of them, maybe even both, are going to be in that corner. The question is, can he find anything from it? It's going to be difficult from this position already. A move coming out from Kushner just to switch his position back in towards the corner. He still has absolutely no idea, and time is gone. There's nothing he can do at this stage to find anything. They're just looking to get out of there. AIM just looking to try and make it costly, and he will go down with the shield.
Valiant attempt with the shock.
Просто бабки в воздух выпустил.
You know, I'd be impressed.
Мне похуй, говорит, на деньги
Kushner is
Ангела, так
extremely
орёт.
healthy, but
Шот выбил жестко.
Bing, bing, bing.
But it was worth a shot, you know. You can't blame him for that. But yeah, like you said, Kushner down below, the patience that he displayed,
really
it got him the kill. I mean, you have to wonder how much of that is luck and how much of that is skill. Spraying through the smoke cuts in the head, but yeah, no, you're right, Tom. He could see him, which is
That was
really
his first kill, by the way, as well.
А чё с ним, он радуется?
That's how you get it done.
No comment.
That's how you're on the board.
No comment. Pora is certainly slowed
Да
down.
чё, вообще болван ебаный?
Leading the charge in the previous map on the
Чё
bridge.
с ним?
Hasn't been able to find his footing, but again,
Да, блядь.
I don't care.
Хорош, блядь.
Finish in the half with 0
Нахуй они мне тут
Just about
уменьшили.
grinding out those rounds. So far, doing a decent job. Up draft
Чё
dash.
такое, блядь?
It doesn't matter, the trap's not there, but he's on his way in with a normal
Чё с
dash.
ним?
Kushner already seizing the
Вообще
side.
ёбнутый или
Now
чё?
trapping two players
Не,
in
вы
a
потом
row.
удивляетесь, как Нави
This is
проигрывает, вот
quickly
так,
turning
блядь.
into a disaster.
Чё, он
They
просто не
don't
скрывает,
know
потому что это
they
трёха.
don't know that-
Он просто радуется в открытую, говорит, да, нахуй.
Never mind, all good.
Лежать, Нави. Ой, я же их тренер, блядь.
Oh, you gotta be
Неловко
fuming.
вышло.
Like, he just let go and insta-killed him. Nothing.
I didn't even think you could draw a gun.
А чё такое, реально?
That's
I
ridiculous.
genuinely looked at the kill feed and
Еще
went,
раз
"Must have been a
смотреть.
teammate that I just didn't see." It's like, nope, that was
No,
actually just,
it's not
he
often
let
you
go
see
of the
those
spike,
trap
popped his
wires
head, and then went back. It's like nothing happened. Really good resurgence from BBL, and as I said, I had high expectations that this would end up being.
Это кивает, типа, да,
The
да.
fact is already,
Бухгалтер чуть сидит, Нави.
see a fairly big
Чё такое, блядь?
response, and I think Navi are just struggling to deal with the pace.
Чё это за хуйня?
Obviously the Cypher, and they have a little bit of utility that can be thrown out by Zipan.
Ну, у меня теперь вопросов нет, как они там 4 в 2 раунда проебывают, 4 в 1. 100 раундов за игру. Нет, теперь вопросы, ну, у меня нет вопросов вообще.
Same smoke gone out
Чё
here.
даже не скрывает
Artis
радости,
denied
блядь.
any control early on. He wanted to opt that angle and take down Kushner and Pora as they made their way into middle. Instead, that's free real estate for the attacking side as they've spread into a nice, comfortable default, looking for any over-aggression as they slowly chip away at the map control. You're not going to see that coming through, though, from the side of Na'Vi. They are very patiently waiting and just jump spotting mid, allowing BBL to make a reaction. The problem with that, and I actually think BBL are making the right play and slowing it down this round, because this is where I expect Na'Vi to overreact, but they're not.
Okay, so Saigetsu has actually just repositioned his trip into the middle of the site. It was there for some sort of early contact, but instead he's trying to catch someone and almost just play from the very back. Clearly,
Бля, ну турки дохуя отжали по
maybe
карте.
when he was on his own.
У Нави вообще нет инфы никакой.
He's moved it again.
Yeah, he's just constantly switching up the position. You can see it back in his inventory again.
I mean, obviously, this time he's got Artis who's just rotated just north of the switch, so has a teammate with him, feels that little bit more comfortable. Trap goes down to cover market, but it's over towards the A site. We're worried about Hunter's Fury. Popped off for one.
Ой, как же жестко.
Ну,
Ангел молодец, хорошо подсветил. Прям пиздец по майну вовремя дал. А кто он слепой спрыгнул? Это Ангел слепой спрыгнул? Это кто слепой полетел как фулл болван? Бля, нет, ну... Бля, ладно, я просто лучше, ну, ничего не буду говорить. Здорово. Нет, там будет еще, ну, лузер-матч. JSL система старая, как на минорах раньше. Играешь матч, выигрываешь, играешь за выход из группы, проигрываешь, ну, через лузер-сетку двигаешь. Ну, мини-лузер-сетку. Что там на первый 3-2 было? Я не удивлюсь. Ну ты вот это видел, блядь? Ну сори, я покажу еще раз, если не видел. Смотрите, ну Нави проебывает раунд, если что. Вот так Сова дает всем поебал без шансов. Реакция тренера. Ну что это, расстройство какое-то, блядь, или что? Ну, какое-то расстройство у него точно есть. Ну, либо просто деньги зарабатывает чел. Что это такое? Он ну, на лицо, просто на мимику, посмотрите. Не на руки, вот этот жест, типа, да. Не такой, типа, блядь. А он такой, что это такое, блядь? Что это такое реально? Тогда чел турик проебал, выходит на сцену и такой, ха-ха-ха, заебись! Ну я не могу это объяснить, не знаю. Я проебывал турики, поверьте, эмоции точно такие. Ну если ты реально хочешь выиграть. Ну если ты приехал за победой.
It's one of those things where obviously you want to have a more layered attack. You want to go, okay, we're throwing a fast round, then we go for these slow rounds.
Ну да, ПРП не так отыграл, блядь.
I think they've got to keep going for these pacey strats because if you give opportunities to players like artists, for players even like right at the top of the board, even Angel had.
Он говорит, нахуй они раунды берут. Он вот так, блядь, нахуй они раунды берут, вы чё, ёбнутые? Мы же на 2-0 против себя поставили, бля, вы чё, ебанутые? Он вот так, не понимаю, ничего, вообще ебланы?
Things definitely not going the way they expected in this series, and now the map, the lead that they built up is under threat yet again. How dare you? How dare you? That's Zipan, he just did that too! The Hunter's Fury just about avoiding the players. That could have been a death sentence.
Знаменитый турецкий Раша. Да, я помню, блядь, Праг играешь так, блядь.
The A side is most certainly BBL's, and Tom, like you said, they just need to keep up these pacey pushes. It's working every time.
It's disrespectful to a point, but if they can't stop you, why would you change it? And that's the thing, Na'Vi have had absolutely nothing in response. They haven't been able to lay, even with the smoke, he still just went straight through it. And now Kushin is starting to come alive. He was quiet in the early rounds. Xiao, though, has somehow managed to make this one competitive. They already know exactly where both of these players are. They know that one of them is still in the backlines, one under the site, hiding within the smoke. But again, this clock is ticking. They have to get someone onto the spike. And Kushin just isn't missing.
Ridiculous. It's just ridiculous watching this guy play the game. He's only starting to climb up the scoreboard as well. I mean, this is
10-7 now.
Yeah, 10-7. He is since they quickened the pace, he has been delivering.
What was he like, 0-4? Maybe even 5.
Maybe 0-5.
He was definitely 1-5, I think.
Yeah,
but even still, and that was the one kill he got through smoke.
Yeah, that was the spam.
It was luck.
Pure, no, you said pure skill, Tom.
Yeah,
Don't go back on it now.
Sorry.
All right, you stick to your guns, just like BBL have with these quicken plays. Na'Vi now calling a pause. They need to shift the focus to a much more strengthened defense, one that can slow down these pushes. And honestly, I don't know what that looks like. It might be proactive aggression, but we even saw from BBL, after they run a couple of these fast rounds, they slow it down and they wait for the pushes. Na'Vi won that round because they waited, but if they decide to push this time, who knows what happens.
The funniest thing is the last 2 rounds, Na'Vi have taken EMEA control early each round. The last round, Kushin dashed through their smoke and shot someone instantly. That wasn't like that Na'Vi were just going, no, we'll just wait for them to push us. Like, let's not use any utility. He was like, no, let's smoke, let's be proactive. Like, I'm dead. I'm dead. So, like, he dashed through smoke and killed me. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, it's not like there is a reactive spot there that you expect someone to do something that insane. But that's, again, it's almost the beauty. We talk about BBO in the last map having these wonderful executions using ultimates and utility and not even needing their guns.
Что он делает? Вообще еблан. Бля, он меня так раздражает, клянусь. Не дай бог ему когда-то со мной повстречаться. Это просто... Бля, ебаный клоун, нахуй.
Control that breathing, keep the blood pressure low, and hopefully you'll be able to.
Что он, что его брат помоечный, блядь.
Find the solution.
Just doing it again.
Mental clarity.
They've left a lurk at least this time.
Ну, Легин сегодня тоже приятно присутствует. При всем уважении к Аязику или две.
Zipan has just been spammed out. I don't even think he saw an opponent.
Now he's just getting first blooded again and again. And I can't fault him for it. The pace out of BBL is just too much to deal with so far. Now they've got the site control, and it's pistols mostly on the retake. You can't have a whole lot of faith in this going their way. The spam's not working out for now, and as the smokes fade, that's when the rifle advantage really comes into play. Artis has been looking for someone for the last 50 seconds. Every angle he goes to gets smoked off. And this guy is just not having a good time right now. He can't see anyone. He went off mid, smoked off. He goes heaven here, smoked off.
Не вешал рыб.
Yeah, good luck. I don't know. I'd love to watch that whole round from his POV. I don't think he saw anyone. Well,
It's just
at the end.
Да я все равно думаю, что они будут 3 должны забирать.
Do you know what it is? It's like when, you know, two people walk towards each other, and then you both go right, and then
Yeah.
you both go left, and you're like, you go that way, and then you still somehow keep bumping into each other. That's Artist the entirety of this round, just bumping into utility. And when he finally goes, screw it, I'm going through, instantly dead.
Such annoying smokes coming out of Brave, and well, it's fair to say he's doing a lot more than just placing the smokes well.
Bear in mind, this was 4-0 Navi. Just take that into
Тут КТ
consideration.
сильнее.
Now looking at the score, it's 6-5 on that attack side.
Что-то у Шауди идет игра.
Were pretty good on the attack,
Это
but
плохой
again, a lot
признак.
of that revolved around
Потому что если у Шауди идет,
very good for them in these
как
sort
бы
of
Нави пизда.
executions. They're going to have something very impressive. Otherwise, they're going into the lower bracket. They're going straight there.
It's just Navi things, man. The lower bracket run is where they were.
When will I
They were
learn?
founded. Yeah. This is it, Tom. When will we all learn? I went with you on the predictions. You know, we're mirrored today.
Yeah, which considering I was
А что, даже смог не дали на...
all of yesterday is a really
Ебать поздно
I
смог
should have asked
летит.
you first. I'm realizing that now, but here we are. I really
Нави
had
читает.
the faith in Navi. Now
Ну и
it's
6-6 плюс пистолетка.
Good, you should be.
Бля, там дрона нету, кстати. Там дрон на проебали.
This has been a tremendous
Но если турки пойдут распикивать, они пизды получат, конечно.
Most of EMEA
По
were
идее.
expected from them. A victory still evading them, the double peak, but it's being double
Это
held.
красиво.
This is one of the first times they've actually walked into the higher of the stack
Вот так
side.
дрончик на проебали на
Navi have
фейк.
not been winning when it comes to the roulette wheel. They've been spinning it.
Да, Артис, да.
Orb
Ну,
will be
тут
taken.
выксу состав.
That's going to give the null command available for Pora, but there are still 3 players sat within this site, ready and waiting. Brave, yeah, by name and nature, tried to TP through the smoke, and finally, Navi, after what has been
Ну
one
хуй
round
знает,
of
4-0
six, is
взяли,
at least gonna
6-6
make it 2
сыграли.
from 7.
Хуй
They'll
знает.
even up the scoreline as we go into that second half, but the fact is, they dwindled
Ну, пистолетку,
after the
если
first
брать.
4 rounds.
I bet this has Navi sat on the other side just thinking, what is
Ну,
going on,
меточник.
Tom? And
Да не знаю, блядь, в КС я так
at least
разъебывал
get
по
to change
ставкам.
up now, move to a different side, like you said, somewhere they have been comfortable before. And if we look at the majority of the success
Валик,
for
не знаю, как будто
BBL,
реально
it
меньше
has
дать.
been punchy, start of round, getting in their face, putting them on the back foot. That is much harder to do now that you come to the defensive side. So certainly
Sorry,
some
have you-
signs of life for Navi.
Если бейсик не возьмут, да не, все равно есть шансы.
That is
Вот смотри,
much,
даже так.
much harder to do
Турки
when you come to
летели
the defensive
4-0.
side for most
Закончили
teams.
6-6.
There we go. Okay, that I'm fine with. Yeah, because Kushida.
Какую
The
команду?
gloves are off. As said, he had a
Если
really
про
rough start to
филиппинцев
this
говоришь
match.
еще
He's
давно,
held
это
right at
уже,
the top of the
блядь,
board, and I
100
don't
лет
think that's gonna be
новости. Или
changing
что-то
anytime
новенькое.
soon. Again, though, full stack
Так а чё это, блядь,
from the side of
какое-то
Navi.
удивление вас
Every
вызывает?
single player sat outside.
Я думаю, вот тут одна, вот тут... Давай так скажу, что одна из двух команд тут трешники как будто.
Pretty much perfect. Artist is going to take a lot of damage. He's going to go over the top. And he's just one tapped. Just get finished off by Reezy.
Чем выше турик, запомните, чем выше уровень турнира, тем дороже трешка стоит. По факту. Чем больше лимита на ставки, тем больше заплатят за каждый матч.
I wonder for how many seconds was he just screaming, smoke me, smoke me, smoke me, smoke me, but it didn't come in time. And Sagetsu's even pulled it back onto Pora, just Brave left. He already used
Шаусу
his
Гетсу как будто... Ладно, лучше
He's not blocking
промолчу.
off an angle that's terribly helpful. They've got the crossfire potentially, the swing afterwards. And Sagetsu was a little early on that, but it worked out. With a third kill for him, the lead is back in Navi's hands, just about.
Yeah, well, that's it. They had a great start to this map.
Так а чего вы удивляетесь? Трешки везде есть. В футболе, хоккее, блядь. Да повсюду. Везде, где есть ставки, есть и трехи, блядь. Ну, типа, это дефолт. Да, прямо на прицел прилетело. Бля, а чё в 3-5 КС не берутся раунд? Ты чё, играешь? Еще как берутся, блядь. Особенно в пистолетках, где дали первый размен, а потом кто-то раскрутился и спал. Реже, чем валики, да, это спорное заявление, бро. Как раз в КС такое чаще, наверное, потому что там скиллов нету. Допустим, вот так чел с юспкой стоит, и вот так фу-фу-фу по одной. А валики такие кнопочки можно нажать. Валики на 1-1 есть 3-2. Я думаю, есть в той или иной мере. В КС точно есть. Это я знаю не понаслышке. Я вам объясняю, чем выше турнир, тем дороже трех стоит. Просто из-за того, что, вот допустим, На ККТ турик можно поставить там, да? У вас лимиты, например, будут там 10 тысяч рублей. А на мажор зайдите, посмотрите ставки. Вам будут давать поставить лям одному человеку. У тебя ставка может быть до ляма на матч. А вот теперь представьте кучу аккаунтов, которые так проставили. Какая-то сумма денег. Ну, типа, на секунду. Вот и думайте сами. Могут так люди сделать или не могут? Там, когда такие лимиты, бро, такие большие лимиты не с головы берутся. Такой большой лимит, потому что ставит очень много народу. И вот это отследить, ну, почти невозможно. Понимаешь?
Void of any information right now. And
поверь, там все уже
they
отлажено.
really need to move. That Killjoy setup's going to do work for them if there's any pressure towards B.
А какой исход? Просто чтобы челы проебут. Или отдадут карту. Что это какой-то, блядь, редкий исход? Редкий исход был бы, если бы там 10 миллионов поставили на точный счет, разные аки. То да, блядь. Но так никто не будет делать. На тотал меньше, тотал больше. Что карту отдадут, что заберут, что проебут 2-0. Вот такие ставки делают люди. Ты такое никогда в жизни не отследишь. К сожалению. Ну, бля, ну только не в этот ванвей ебаный.
Lead and Reezy only have to delay this a couple more seconds as they're on their way through. Okay, both players get dropped.
Бля, 4 в 2, я вас прошу, нет. Любой раунд проебите, но только не 4 в 2. Я просто, ну, толпанул.
That was the only full health player that's been taken down. Angels on 4, Zipban's on 12, and Sagetsu's got 56. The problem is they've only got Pora to deal with. A gun from behind. Take him out easily, and I think that market peak is gonna come through. No, it's very passive from Zipban because he's so low. They want to run this time down. But in the end, Angel saves the day.
Yeah, if I've learned anything is that Angel, it doesn't matter what his HP says, he still believes he's on over 100.
Ну да.
He was 4 health there, right?
Full на пачку играл.
He had 4 health, yeah. A wallbang would have taken him out, but always feeling confident. Again, a little bit worrying now for BBL, because that's the thing with this practice from Na'Vi that makes it so effective. They come in with 5 rifles like every single
one. Нет, чё это? Чё раунд взяли? Клипу нет хуйню. Я отправлю куда надо, блядь. Чё раунд взяли? Посмотрите на его реакцию. Посмотрите, он вообще в курсе? Ну, может он думает, он тренер турков? Чё с ним? Чё, кому-то в делать нету, что они раунд взяли? Что они первый закупной взяли, важный. Чё это? Чё вот так, блядь? Может он, ну, не знает? У него реально что-то с башкой? Что он, ну, тренер Нави, а не, ну, турков. Может он, ну, что-то перепутал там в моменте? Нет, пиздец. Как бы вопрос по тренеру должен сразу отпасть. А что если тренер это и есть главный трешник? Он вот так берет книжку Ангела, дает ее туркам, говорит, вот все наши раунды, пистолетку мы будем делать такую, первый закупной такую. И он, смотрите, вот реально, смотрите, вот вдумайтесь, мои слова подходят. Смотрите, он дает книжку с раундами и говорит, первый закупной мы будем делать сплит Б. А потом он видит то, что они все равно проебывают, зная какой раунд, и он такой, блядь, да как вы проебали? Подходит, смотрите, подходит, как вы проебали? Вы же знаете, что это сплит Б будет, вы что тупые? Я же вам книжку дал. Подходит реально? Вот мои реплики подходят под его эмоции, согласитесь. Я же вам дал книжку, блядь. По-моему, фул подходит. Да, я говорю, наверное, будет разыграть. Это фул нездоровая хуйня.
It's now starting to really slip away. Same as before though. 4-0, 4-0, both halves. Maybe this is where we get something from BBL.
It could be. And again though, we haven't seen that extra element here in Ascent yet.
Да, хорош, пацаны, лучшие. Взяли первый закуп, красавчики. Блять, как они взяли? Турки же знают, что это бесплит. Блять, идеально.
Is that in one of those, in the last couple rounds, Na'Vi have been looking for aggression. They've been spread across the map. They've had two-man set.
Ну да, чего так хватается, говорит, мой Феррари, блядь. Помогите. Он говорит, меня китайская мафия порешает потом, блядь. Но турки чуть обосранные на бриз зайдут. Но представьте, вот есть такой у вас эскалибур, которым вы всех побеждаете. Ну, это в данном случае асцент у турков. У всех у футболистов, у них. Карты, которые вы, не знаю, с ЗБТ играете, блядь, и чувствуете, что это ваша карта, всех на ней ебете всегда. Тут вас просто трахают по ней. Ну, прям попускают. И, ну, уверен, не сможешь пошатнуться. Когда ты после первой карты вот так зарядился, думаешь, все, сейчас я 2-0 Нави выебу. А потом тебе так бам, осадили на твоей лучшей карте. Тяжело на третью собраться. Я не говорю, что это невозможно, просто тяжело морально чуть будет. Моральное преимущество будет у Нави. И психологическое такое. Бля, так спать уже хочется, пиздец, еще 2 было 3. Я просто потом упаду на кровать и все, бэбочу.
No players there. Knife early. What does that mean? Often that it's going to be a B hit. They'll get here just in time. Cushioner's arriving on the scene, but with an op behind the smoke, it's not ideal. It's not a fight most people would want to take. So he pulls out the classic question mark. Instead, Reezy's the one to find a kill, but he's got some trouble coming his way. They know exactly where he is. Full HP, good flash, but not a good delivery afterwards. Reezy, some more work to be done. He only finds a tough play for Brave. To be fair, his
сейфу приколись, блядь.
Ну, турков. With Brave in a 1v3, Zipan's low HP might not matter too much.
Это не турки, шея уже был. Это мы отправляемся на бризик. Я говорю, фаворит, что-то ты сильно в турков уверовал. Это скорее Нави приколисты, а не турки красавчики. Нет, турки молодцы, в целом, вот так, в целом. Как будто неплохо играют. И стреляют вроде. Но все равно, я смотрю вот так по составу, блядь. Не знаю, они даже были не карты забирать. Так что то, что на Нави был после первой карты 2, кайфик, это подарок. По факту это подарок. Но единственное, меня третья карта чуть-чуть смущает. Будет третья карта, какой-нибудь сплит, какой-нибудь, не знаю, Лотус. Может, хотя Лотус тоже такая фишная карта, какая вам пиздую. Просто, ну, Бриз меня чуть-чуть смущает. Чуть-чуть смущает меня. Сейчас Кундьор, бля, выкатится нахуй. И хули делать. Продал ставку на Нави? А зачем мне ставить на третий? Может, я после первого на них поставил? Я хоть и сгорел, блядь. На неделю 2-0 продал? Ну. А почему как долбоёб тогда наоборот? Ну, это нормально. Переобуться никогда не поздно. Я вообще понял, что в ставках надо уметь переобуваться вовремя, реально. Лучше по игре смотреть и, ну... Типа не верить в чудеса вот так, а быть реалистом. Вот по факту, если я у себя уберу вот эту вот веру в чудеса, я ее уже фикшу, то я буду пиздец каким большим винрейтом ставить. Ну что, если вы так по игре будете смотреть и понимать. Has a vandal, everyone else is on a sheriff. This is not a guy you want to see fall. Oh, he's getting frustrated as well. Ну не нафиг! Нахуй ты делаешь? А нахуя он делает, что? Он богом к зиге пошел, что, вообще больной? А что он делает, блядь? Просто фул боком к зиге. Чё, блядь? Да, ангел соло зиг, блядь. Ой, блядь. Time being so late for under pressure, but it is basically just a 1v1. The IGLs facing off against each other. Paranoia sent through to try and give a little bit of extra space, but it hasn't actually helped too much. And Kushner still within the back of the site. There comes that Hunter's Fury to try and make these fights a little bit more winnable. It's going to connect as well. Kill! Oh,
that's such a huge mistake.
Я так и знал. Я так и знал. Я смотрю, что он так за плентом ходит, я так и знал, что так будет. На сове MVP, мужик. Не иначе. На сове MVP, мужик. Что ты делаешь? Бля, я так и знал. Клянусь, когда я видел, что он вот так идет за плент, и вижу, что сова ультит, я понял, что баг случится. Ну, я видел, что он красный.
Regardless of the potential, regardless of how much he realistically would have gotten done, they only needed to buy a couple more seconds.
На, сука. Лежать, блядь, камка.
And it's not like he could swing out wide. It's not like he could jump up.
Покажите ебало тренера. Да, кстати, реально. Покажите ему ебало. Он, наверное, вот так за голову взялся и говорит: вы долбоёбы, блядь! Сами будете с китайской мафией разбираться. Суки, блядь. Он вот так. Не, знаете, как он сделал? Просто встал и уехал домой. А нахуй его уже там, ну, на выходе ждут, как бы, ребятки здравые.
TP rotation. There's going to be 3 players now in the backside here. Oh, maybe not. Cancelled. Sticking around. I guess they would have left.
Кому-то развернуться не ошибка. Кому-то спокойно можно на сплит развернуться.
I like the idea from Reezy. Second favorite gun now? It's close. It's close.
Second most played gun, definitely.
It's just that that's what helps.
Ну, кстати, то, что Нави делает, прикольно. Они так стоят, как будто они съебали, а по факту не съебали. И второй волной заходят. По факту прикольный кол. Ну, реально. По факту, вот это хороший кол. Типа, когда ты понимаешь, что тебя читают, у тебя 2 опции. Ща. Короче, у тебя 2 опции. Но я думаю, тут уже не проебать раунд. У тебя 2 опции. Либо развернуться реально, либо сделать вид, что ты развернулся, остаться в тех же позициях, просто ничего не делать, вообще никак, ну, не палиться, и зайти второй волной. И зайти второй волной. Ну, это хороший кол был от Ангела. Тут ладно. Хороший кол. Они еще так встали нагло на жирафа. Ну, это около маркета, вот эта в углу позиция. И стоят просто, ждут. Потом будут тусовые зашли. Прикольно. А чё там говорят, что ты алкашня ебаная? Почему доходит в что ты алкашня сербская ебаная? Дура ставки проебала, все во все тяжкие нахуй пошла. Чел, пока ты там, блядь, бухаешь, блядь, ребятки поднимаются, блядь, в знатных слотах.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces.
Где?
Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't
Поднялся
ask
колен.
about Lola. Ay, Caballo Grande. Ay, Dolor de Nieve. But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Бля, ну эти ставки 2-0 меня как-нибудь погубит, конечно.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin, former professional Counter-Strike player.
Бля, Бриз, я вообще не помню, как Бриз играет в Нави. Потому что его же убирали, потом добавили. Я вообще не помню, как они играют Бриз реально. Бля, эти матчи вообще не показательные. Просто хуйня. Вот это тоже можно смотреть, ничего. Тут без бреза еще было, да. Сука. А, можно вот так написать. Не понял. Что это за хуйня? А, во. Ну, я говорю, по факту сам в тексте. Еще был Брюс, по-моему. Нет, уже не было. Неоднозначно. Да сейчас Бриста и еще другое. Я просто так смотрю по фану. По факту сейчас это другая карта. Да я просто так сейчас смотрел. На игру это надо в FPX смотреть, не Нави. Когда мои мальчишки будут играть с Косово? Чтоб чего, Нави салат проебали? Нет, бухая дура. Нет, я поставил на гилдов. Я думаю, они должны закрыть. Сейчас тренер такой в перерыве говорит: Rush B, ребят. Every round Rush B. Да это тоже такая стата, пацаны, я просто так по фану смотрел, блядь. Просто по фанчику. Карта вообще другая уже. Бля, вот стата, конечно, хуёвая. Но это Асценда, который топовый состав был, да? Ну да. Ангел, не, если я вот эту хуйню вижу, ну, я расстроюсь. Но Чембер точно не будет. Не мета уже его.
Glimpses of former glory Navi, but the second map, it was a lot more of the Navi that we come to know and expect. And there's one round in particular I want to jump right into. It's round 15. It was where Navi were grouped up together. They had the B main control with the Cypher. They have 4 players together. They are grouped up. 40 seconds left on the clock, and they're not really nervous at this moment. So if we play out the round, we're going to see them moving up. They drop the Omen smoke down onto the gate area. They pop that alarm bot. Once the jig is up here, they start going, but they're not really nervous. They know that the
продать или не продать, я думаю.
Вот в чем вопрос.
Я могу плюс продать,
They're
конечно.
not stressing.
Сейчас подумаю, сейчас подумаю.
They're not rushing through anything. And in the previous map, we saw them just, you know, lose composure a little bit. But here, 15 seconds left, and they're still not freaking out. They're letting the defenders sweat. The defenders peek out, Na'Vi get all the kills here, and are able to get the spike planted with 8 seconds remaining, and they're able to close out in this post plant here. And this is the Na'Vi that we kind of expected to see on Bind, but we didn't really get to see them. We saw a lot of solo individual plays, and nothing really concrete from them. So, what do we expect from Na'Vi going into the third map on Breeze? We hope to see a little bit more of what they showed on Ascent, but if they show what they did on Bind, BBL could do an upset here.
Oh, very very strong words there from Steel. I've got Kakuka here with me to talk a little bit about Breeze, because Kakuka, the last time we saw Na'Vi play Breeze, they were FPX.
Yeah, it's been a very long time in general since we've seen this map, especially here in EMEA, and I think it's the first time that we see it for Kickoff. So, of course, there's a lot of questions regarding how the composition is going to look like. Probably, knowing Na'Vi, we're looking towards something more standard with just Cypher, Viper, especially with the players that they have on the team. Everything makes sense, but if we take into consideration the latest changes that we've seen to the map, maybe something has changed. And one thing that I would like to say that applies to Ascent, but also has to apply to Breeze, is that I didn't see that big of an impact from Suigetsu Cypher. From Suigetsu as a player, obviously, yes, we're going to see it. But I think that if we see the Cypher coming in his hands in this iteration, it has to have that impact. But if it's the Viper as well, I'll take it.
Yeah, what about on the side of BBL as well? Because you would think that a Turkish team, a map where you can just win off of Angels, should suit them.
Yeah, definitely. I want to think of Kushner, just having a little bit more room actually to have that impact, because especially on the last map, he was 3-8 in those first duels. So he definitely has to have that impact. I would like to see some Outlaw as well. I know that we saw Angel using it on the first map. Maybe someone else. Or maybe
on
Angel.
an eco. No, Aldous dropped it for him, I think. He got dropped
because he's that kind of player. But definitely, I want to see them having such an impact. And also, we need to talk about the way that they have been working the map, especially on Ascent. We saw that BBL was way more straightforward. They weren't, working towards mid, or maybe faking, maybe not even splitting. They were pretty straight onto A, straight onto B. That is something that probably gave Na'Vi the edge, and actually the resources on the attack to do something different. And as we saw in the clip that Steel showed us, doing something different and gaining that space actually puts you in a tricky situation. That's why it's important to have map control. Otherwise, what for?
This is the thing, though, because we were expecting BBL to maybe win Ascent, at least have a better chance of it. They don't. But coming into this Breeze, I know we haven't seen Breeze in a very, very long time, but this is still the same 5 players on FPX are still here in front of us today. So how much of an advantage do you think that would be? Don't mention it. Just pretend we didn't see
I like it. I have to say that I like it. I think that it's going to be different from them, because time has passed for everybody. I think that the game has changed a little bit, but I like to see the comfort and the smiles on their faces, and I like to see that they still have that kind of confidence to working as a team, especially when things were working. Because if you think about Ascent again, not having the best of the defenses, things not really working out, being a little bit separated in some of the decisions that they were making, that cannot happen on Breeze. And no one, especially as you're saying, they're going against the Turkish team. They do not have a problem with aim. That is never going to be the issue. You need to be very selective and very resourceful in how you make those duels favor you instead of them.
Yeah, and for BBL, I like to see Reezy to get a little bit more comfortable. I feel like maybe nerves, maybe just not quite used to playing on a stage like this. But as we take a look at Agent Select.
I am so happy that we have Lothar back, because I know that he's going to be very excited. And now it's Artist,
Yeah,
we
it's
had
not
seen
Angel.
it, we had Angel, and now it's Artist, and for playing the Yoru. We have seen it. They're also combining it. Instead of with that double initiator, well, that's what the Yoru gives you, that initiating power that you can use the flashes, and you can also combine it with the double smokes. So as a whole, I really like
слышу, там Йор уже обсуждает.
of Na'Vi. And for the side of BBL, they're just
Ой,
going
бля.
the most
А чё Шау Вайпер, почему нет?
standard, just usual way of
Сует,
playing
Сайф,
this
всё
map without
логично.
a lot of consideration into far ahead.
Yeah, and I can't believe it took 3 maps for us to get Angel on smokes. He's back on the Omen.
Hear me out. I love to see that. I love to see that he's not the only one playing controller, so we will make sure that Na'Vi has smokes for the end.
Оман у
of
кого?
the
Турков?
round.
Я что-то даже
But I
фильм
really
не
want
смотрел.
to see him, trying something different. For
А чё,
example,
реально
on
Омана
Ascent,
взяли?
we barely saw him use those shock darts, if ever, at the beginning of the round to break that utility. He
А,
has his
ну как
own
второй
way of
смокер,
seeing
это нормально.
things,
Не,
and it
похуй.
definitely has worked for him in
Как
the
будто
past.
не, это
For in
похуй.
this Breeze, I feel like, we need to see that
Нормально,
kind of
можно
Na'Vi and
мидл
that kind of
занимать там
FPX that
спокойно.
back
Да,
in the
смокер
day
давать.
made us
Не,
fall
как
in
будто
love
это
with
норм.
I mean, they won an international tournament.
Просто
by
сейчас
winning
Бриз
Breeze. They
такой
beat
стал,
Paper X,
узенькие
that
проходы
map,
везде.
F5, and
И
another
смогом
player
Омана
on this
спокойно
team
перекрывать
play
можно
Yoru
много
as
чего.
well. But then again, for BBL, they expect
Не,
it,
если
right?
Ардис на Йору как бы задрачивал,
yeah.
то
If
жестко
there is
будет.
something that you can be prepared is for some of these crazy compositions to happen, especially on Breeze because of how big it is.
Well, I can't wait for this. Let's get this back into game. Over to you, Mitchman and Tombiz.
Thank you so much, Insu, and our wonderful analyst desk. Tom, we're getting into map 3, and BBL have already surprised us by taking a map, but it's the order of the maps that's even more surprising. Losing out on their own. Where's their headspace at coming into Breeze? And are we going to see some outlaw gameplay?
Бля, Нави за КТ? Хуй знает. Ну ладно, сейчас это все равно такая больше КТ карта стала. Даже то, что YouTube открыли, похуй.
I will say as well, let's pray for Artist that he has a better performance than Angel on Yoru, because if he doesn't, we will never hear the end of it. Yep. So for his sake, I really hope this is a lights-out map, and already the challenge.
Artist уже ебло разбили.
The wall did decay him slightly, but 12 still manages to find Executioner.
Ну что он делает? Ну какой мешок?
He's already put them into a man advantage.
Сейчас с смоками в руках бегает, блядь.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like when it comes to pistol rounds,
просто сейчас смог в руки достал и бегает, блядь.
You have to watch out for. Well, they are watching out for him, but Q not quite able to take him down early. He's going to get another bite of the cherry, and it doesn't work out. So I get to winning that one. Now they know exactly where Brave is, isolated to the back of the corner. The thing is, he can isolate these jewels himself, take them 1v1, but look at the way Na'Vi are playing it. They are waiting to try and pick this one together, and eventually who's surprised?
Very well handled indeed. You can see the discipline as they wait, as they confirm he's still in that position. Never overstepping the mark. This is ridiculous. 1 HP, he was 12, which is effectively the same, and still manages to find 2, but Kushner really doubled up on it, finding so much more value. Just a shame that he couldn't quite match the might of Sugetsu. Pound for pound.
Сугетсу, кстати, принцип прикольный. Есть такой? Реально принцип прикольный. Это как у меня, только без обводки вот это. 1-2-1-2, только без обводки. Просто риски толстые, без обводки. Ну и шаут. А, или дефолтный обсервер, в принципе. А, не, это у Шау и Сугетсу такие принципы. Одинаковые. Не надо. Не надо.
Artist has got a rifle up close, but the pistols have the numbers to play with. A reveal down below Angel. He's trying desperately to make it out of there.
Прикрой старика, блядь. Прикройте старика, ему вообще хуёво, блядь. Прикройте, блядь, старика. Деду нужна помощь.
So far, and with potential for more, but the rifle being retrieved costs everything.
Yeah, again, it's a similar scenario to what we talk about with their other bonus rounds. 2 players don't buy, 3 players do, the other 2.
О, Ардис, кстати, тоже в Аксе. Скоро мне приедет такая же малышка.
Pistols, they get a bonus round that has 5 rifles, and that's the gamble that they're taking. If they lose 3, this buy now sucks a little bit more, but if they don't, then they get a bonus round.
Не, у Нави нормально по бабкам все. У них, считайте, 5 ганов, и бабки еще есть. Это даже не бонус. А вот турки, если проебывают, им пизда. Хуёво по экономике. Как-то Нави вообще хуй забили на мидл или на кьюб. А что это за хуйня? Ну, с камеры он чекает поди мидл, но... Ну не, у Нави как будто прикольно, говорю, мне нравится. 2 смокера, имба на этой карте как будто. Я говорю, Омен вот много куда тут смоки ванвейны можно давать. И еще, что мне нравится, у Омана паранойя тут сильно. Смотрите, вот так паранойя сильно. Под Б вот так паранойя сильно. То есть, как будто много где паранойя можно дать.
Towards this part of the map. They're looking to find that advanced map control that Na'Vi have, at least in their heads, find that player in the corner and catch him by surprise. As they're going to find out, they're just wasting their time slowly.
А чё атаку? Йорик очень сильно в атаке. Ну, если у них прям комбина есть под Йорика, ну чё, это очень сильно. А флешку Аклона? Ничего не отдал, ну ладно. А еще одну туда же. А еще одну туда же. Ты хуярь шоку туда же, чё? Ну как будто одновременно он был с Маликом.
The wall. Kushner in the same boat, 22 health, but he's got a nice pyramid to play behind. Elite's going to be tagged up too. Artist round the side with a quick kill, and the wall's blocking off Reezy, who's now all alone.
Как будто охуенно ретейкнули. Очень важно просто, по факту, на очень легкий ретейк, без шуток. Тебе главное дефолт отхуярить, вот обилками, моликами, шоковыми. Тебе главное вот эту позицию нахуй выключить, чтобы чел вот так на стрейфах тебя не ебал. На хедшот. И все, остальные позиции на просто хуёвые. Тебе просто главное дефолт вырубить. На играм это сделали. Дали туда шоковую, молик, шоковую, молик. Так что без шансов там пикать. Так тренер уже не сидит там, его уже в раздевалке выцепили. Поняли? Он уже на третий карт не вышел. Ну, либо хромой вышел, но дополз, я не знаю. Да, спрашивают, блядь.
Sprinkling in that rifle to give them a fighting chance in, well, in the fights.
А надо это против Эка делать? Конечно, надо. Ну, блядь, еще бы наводиться. Ну, комбина прикольно была. Плюс паранойя, ревильчик и Йорик тпшится под это. Как будто прикольно. Вот, ну, реально, эта комбина сильная была, мне понравилась. Но, единственное, знаете что? Как будто я бы эту комбину лучше бы на закупе спалил. Ну, там Эка, можно и так поменять Эка. Ну, типа полубай. А вот на закупе так было отхуярить, мне кажется, поважнее. Ну, ладно. О, Алик появляется, это очень хорошо. Не, просто, не, пиздатый, вот реально, вот эта комбина, окей, респектово. Короче, у Нави мне понравился ретейк, круто сыграли в ретейке. Все прям по книжке, реально. И вот эта комбина мне тоже очень понравилась, но, я говорю, как будто бы я бы ее сделал на закупе. Но я бы, ну, я обычно, у нас в команде, допустим, были финишные раунды, и я их всегда стараюсь колить, вот какой-то сильный наш раунд, когда очень важно там за экономику или еще что-то. Поняли? Как будто на эко полить вот этот раунд. Сейчас странно, они, конечно, пошли в ДД пиздиться.
And that's a big unknown to have late in the round. In fact, look, he's just come back from this angle now. Artis is ships in the night with this squad. He's going back to check, and they're not there anymore. Now he's making noise.
Ха, он долго там фанится будет.
The thing is, there's now nobody within that site after not seeing anything for such a long time.
Да, я не угадываю вообще.
The thing is, they'll eventually get the notification off the back of the trips, but it's too little, too late. They're finally making their move back around, but even if there was anybody here, they would have been reduced to
Только ее проебали, да кого-то можно засейвить.
Hunter's Fury is going to connect. The thing is, Poro goes down, but obviously he can just be.
А теперь хуй знает. Как будто Йорик дропает авик. Да, и пошел.
It looked like he was going to obviously just be res, so it isn't even that much of a risk. Now, Artis going through. I assume he has a shorty in his pocket, or he's about to just try and TP away from there. Kind of stuck in the mud. No, he is going to go for it. Hits the shot, but still as an operator. This is not the weapon you want to have in this corner. His teammates slowly looking to try and round the corner. Even caught off by his own utility is so good, but
а чё в КТ вообще еблан играет? А чё в КТ долбоёб стоит? Не может выйти помочь кентам? Не, клянусь. Не, Аргус красавчик, жестко сыграл. Но, по факту, Вайпер в КТ никого не видит у турков. И стоит, блядь, не может выйти убить Йору в спину. Аргус стоит фул спиной КТ и вот так распикивает твоих кентов. Очень долго, очень долго. Чел в КТ стоит, вообще хуй забил на своих кентов. Чё, долбоёб? Но он очень плохо сыграл, посмотрите. Он просто всех продал. По факту он всех продал. Ради чего, блядь? Ладно, у тебя там ебаные лайнапы были на бомбу, еще что-то, ну. Я вообще не вижу причины вот так было играть. Ты же никого не видишь с КТ. Все, если Йорик уже как бы вышел из ульты, это значит, его кенты уже тоже по нему играют. Нет такого, что Йорик вышел из ульты в планту, и ему никто не помогает. Все, КТ, да, АФК стоят, блядь. Короче, Вайпер очень плохо. Не, я рад. У меня отставка на Нави, но, блядь. Просто я такое вижу, для меня это странно. Он столько времени не видит никого с КТ и не может понять, что там никого не будет. И не может выйти, убить, блядь, Йору в спину. А Йору берет и просто ебет твоих кентов.
almost start to be a little bit more cemented within this B site. Viper and Cypher sat here.
Гэл
Not
зайти.
the amount of utility you want to go into.
Гэл
You might
зайти.
be able to shut down one player's utility, and that is going to be the case, but the cage is still there, the triggers are still
ну,
there,
в
and
принципе,
Cypher
да.
2 is as well.
Нет, такие
They're
выходы,
finding
блядь. Ну
everything
да,
in
Джетка вот так стоит.
Well, you
На
can
всю
see
карту
BBL
открытая,
on the way
блядь.
through. You know, there's
Говорит,
too many
мне
angles to clear, and they
похую,
get
блядь.
tunnel
Орус
vision
по
in
чуть-чуть,
on
блядь.
Xiao, who they couldn't deal with on the initial dash, a little too slow, making their way through. So those players backside
Всё,
were able to
сейвить.
catch them off guard. The fact that you've got Sugetsu there so early, now Artis is here firing off the op.
Ну да, они
Spike's down
сейвят
on
тут.
site. There's just no way to get this done, no way to wrestle that control back. It is a save,
Выход
and
ебейший
that
был.
was called 20-30 seconds ago by BBL.
И чё, блядь,
They're in
снег
trouble
Вайпер?
now, 6
И
to
чё?
0 down.
Она
As
отрезает
this
от
round is most
хлопущие
certainly out of
позиции,
their
блядь.
hands. And that's
У тебя чел за понтом может стоять, да дохуя где. Да нет, так стоять это вообще пиздец. Я бы понял, если бы он так обдрафнулся, и потом бы спрыгнул, дальше, ну, дальше, ой, бля. Он бы спрыгнул и начал дальше бы искать, окей. Ой, бля. А он без денег, да? Покажите бабки. Там, по-моему, чел без денег.
Andaluthia flawless. Like it's definitely not what you want to see when you're 6-0 down. You don't get any damage, and you save, and you lose all of your guns. Like that is a horrible position to be in.
Как они карту отжали?
And that's the thing.
Это очередная загадка от Джака Фреско, которую человечеству не разгадать.
The problem is they're just given too much space. Like last round, the halls were completely taken, pushed all the way down. You've got these mid
Что ты пишешь, алкашня, блин?
main being taken at times, and then they could just stack up Viper
Просто
and
дура в
Cypher
толпе
on
может
one
затягивать
side
волк
because you're not
сыграть.
pressuring the rest of the map. This time though,
А почему
they're
тренер
gonna
не
go looking for
показывает?
this A site. It's a passive hold, but it's Artis again with this operator. They have struggled to deal with this man, and while this round again, it's just one hero rifle. No hero.
Бля, ну нельзя такой раунд отдать, вы чё? Они авик уже отдали, я ебал. Да мангел быстро в спине, по идее. Ну вы чекают. Ну выиграй, дуэль. Кого я прошу, блядь?
Who needs him?
Your operator, yeah, just go on in, tap the heads, and a completely different sense of this game.
Бля, что это за привоз? Все, я пока с вами пиздел, как-то раунд отдали пистолетом.
They'll no doubt want to reset into the next. Now they could try to fight for this
Что за
with all
привоз,
the credits
блядь?
they've got. It's not like rifles being saved is a huge benefit. But
О,
it's
авик
starting to look
вырубили.
like it might be too far gone. That time ticking, Reezy having his Hunter's Fury, but he's on side. He's being pressured, and the Sheriff might not land the shot, but the rifle finally does. 6-1. A sign of life
ты что не видишь,
for
как они играют?
BBL at
Не
last,
проще
and
здоровье.
it is on that low buy round, the quicker pace ends up working out.
Yeah, a lot of
А
the
ты чё,
time
на
they've been
турков
going for
поставил?
sort of slow defaults into mid, probably to try and catch the
Блядь,
aggression
чел.
of Artis, but he's only really just been playing the Aura as like, okay, I can rotate relatively quickly, I have a few flashes. Like, in the early rounds, he was very aggressive in towards A main, but that hasn't really been the case. This time out there, they're going to bring Xiao back over to the A site.
Ну вообще наверное хуёвый раунд отдали, у них денег не прям много. Но на фулл закуп еще будет, даже если это прибыль. Ой, ебать. Это супер ранняя инфа, на самом деле. Ой, если же Ардис дальше пойдет распикивать, это пиздец какая ранняя инфа. А, он уже ДПшнулся. Ну, сова не откроется просто огней. Если он вот так распикает на совет, фулл долбоёб. При том, что у тебя дрон есть. Ну и ты знаешь, что там авик против тебя 100%.
Now as we come towards a conventional rifle round, well, they've spotted Artis at least. They know as well that Viper's here.
Не надо, не надо.
The decision seems to be to move elsewhere. They do not want anything to do with this.
Всё, авик спалили.
Just looking at Artis, no more gate crashes, and unless I'm missing a little icon on the map somewhere, he hasn't got one down, so there'll be nowhere to rotate too quickly for him at least. Luckily, BBL have cancelled any rotation.
Бля, вот они так себе болезненно миду чувствуют, как будто если Ардис залочит мидл с авиком, вот так или вот так вот, им вообще пизда будет. Ой, блядь.
Will be able to survive, but he's on low HP, and they didn't expect that wraparound. Kushina, the one to take the space, getting in to the back of the site, but Artis has shut him down. Viper's Pit definitely going to make things a little bit more awkward, and with Elite stepping up, and now just leaves two men standing. Now, as you mentioned, the finances of Na'Vi. The shots and the shot from Artis.
Ну это мало что меняет.
I think that's just a parting gift. Because I don't think there's any way they get back into this one. Although saying that, paranoia has just been used from Angel. He still wants to try and make this costly. Elite, though, is just not missing a beat.
Okay, no panic, no worries. It's down to damage, really. They've spotted Artis. He might just get out of here. He might... he might just get out of here. No, but now they're surrounding him. Now they're fighting. I don't think there's a choice anymore. All right, Op's going to be dropped. And it's not like we're that close to the end of the half that those credits wouldn't be worthwhile. I mean, it's an expensive weapon, but evidently he just valued keeping BBL's economy in the dirt that little bit more, and understandable as they're able to bounce right back into a buy in this round.
Yeah, he's actually going to buy another one back up, so it's not even like there was a plan to...
This is that's outrageous.
If that was earlier in the round and they lose the Viper Spit for that, they're pissed. Like, you got, there's nothing else that you can say.
Literally Elite swinging and getting 2 kills because they're focused on that pit. Whether, I don't know if those players were throwing utility or what, or whether Elite just diffed them, but if he doesn't get those kills, yeah, that really could have ended the round.
О, все, Ардис минут наконец играет.
Look at the early aggression again. Already seeing it out. From
Да, я смотрел, за сколько продать
control
можно.
towards A main.
Так,
It just allows
интересуюсь.
them to push elsewhere. Artis is already going all the way down mid. Now there is a smoke in position. He can't go too much further. He'll TP to the back of sight, and the pressure going to be put on Saigetsu and Shao. They've got this double up again. It's such a filthy setup having a Cypher and a Viper in the same spot. Good for delaying, although it's actually a little bit of a whiff for Saigetsu. Doesn't happen very often. Still, though, so many members of this...
А куда он посмотрел на джетке?
As you said, the silent hero.
А куда чел на джетке посмотрел? А куда он посмотрел в стену?
1 versus 3.
Вы видели? Куда чел на джетке смотрит? Он как бы не угол облизывает, а вообще в какую-то залупу посмотрел. И его ёбнули. То есть он идет распихивать угол, довольно опасный уже, контактный, где, скорее всего, какие-то челы стоят. И вот так просто прицел направо будет. Зачем? Так там, блядь, не крауч-пик, не крауч-пик, вообще поебать. Если чел в стену смотрит.
Worry in that one, considering Navi still managed to bounce back. We're seeing so many different spanners thrown in by BBL, and it's just not causing any sort of clog to the Navi movement. They're still moving forward.
Но он не префайр. Префайр ты даешь, ты прям как бы через угол стены наводишь, типа так бам. А он слишком вправо отвел прицел. Это не префайр, это не знаю, хуйня какая-то.
Yeah, that's the thing. He
Не-не-не.
push mid. 2 seconds later, he's TP back.
Он прям прицел вел куда-то,
And they've
не
also
знаю куда.
had like Angel as well. He is basically playing a controller that also just happens to be like an initiator, but with his own eyes. Like he's just going, there's no one A main, I know, because I pushed it. Oh, there's no one up pause, I know, because I pushed it. And then that's just what they've been doing every round. And that's been the thing, is like, it seems like BBL, the only default they've really held will be, okay, I'm holding mid. And that's not going to be something that you really see push because of the information denial you have of throwing the orb or something with the cross. So it's made things quite awkward for them. I also think in terms of their B pressure, there hasn't really been much of a split. It's mostly just been direct in, which when you have a Cypher and a Viper, good luck.
Well, as these walls go up one more time, Navi 7 rounds to 2. We're coming towards the end of the half. This is where BBL need to scrape together a couple. That could have been awkward. Saigetsu was on cam, but Kushner doesn't go for a crazy wide swing. Artis maybe even behind enemy lines in an unexpected position while noise is being made by teammates. He's got the angle. Portal closed. He's chosen the wrong direction. In fact, both players now backs turned to each other. They have no idea, and Artis turns at the right moment, catches Kushner, takes him down, now uses the ult to grab more information. With Porus shut down, there's not much else to be said because they've spotted Brave, and the flank coming around now from... Never mind. Never mind.
Кто говорил Близ Зипана, вы ёбнутые? Кто это сказал? Встал нахуй. Нет, кто из вас реально сказал? Кто это пизданул? Близ Зипана. Встал нахуй.
16-4, Artis 15-5. It's good to see this duo back together, and while 8-2, Na'Vi, the sort of the visions of that map are starting to just diminish completely. And when you go back to what is left on the table, BBL after winning 2 rounds in a row they've run out of cash. They're going to have to play this one again with a hero rifle available. Obviously, Kushner once more will have himself a Blade Storm in the next round, but the rest
Куда я в Сербию не поеду, блядь? Back to Moscow.
praying for the Outlaw, it's not that.
Сербия без меня уже.
Gone for a Marshall instead.
That has upset me.
Мам.
But Artis, well, he's putting them in their place. Already opening it up.
Блять, ну мужик.
With the operator in hand, Zipban's being dropped. TP was used by Artis, so he's back in the spawn. Has the angle up on top of bridge.
Ну все нормально, у вас есть ретейк ваш фишечный. Молите в дефолт. Все, вы крысу убили. Ну там вайпер поздний будет играть. Найс.
He might not need it. Cutting through this attacking side.
Oh, they're gonna hit each other on the lurk. Look at the position in mid, just waiting.
Ебать, как судец. Ой, бля.
They were so
Как
ready
по нотам
for
нахуй.
someone like Brave to try and come in for the backlines and just spot him out, and instead Saigetsu's like, you think you can lurk? I can lurk even harder, my friend.
And that's one of those rounds that's really tough to look at from the side of BBL, because if you come out and think, okay, what could we have done differently? It's essentially don't die to Artis, and they throw out that mid lurk. Again, that's just a fight that you can't really perceive.
Ардис, да. Он какие-то жесткие флики не дает. Вот он зато стабильно хорошо убивает. Наводится бам, наводится бам.
I do like our new little zoom. It's like Jakob's gone, the last one was cool, but now I need to make it look stylish.
Ладно, сейчас карта закончится, у меня будет вопрос к нему. Небольшая викторина.
I'm certainly a fan of it. Viper's Pit used here. It's on A site, moving in towards middle. Now, this position isn't bad to play from, but there's a lurk from the Cypher, and they bypassed this pit completely. Looking in towards the A site, wall down, plant in.
Spike planted.
Pit is essentially useless. I mean, it will at least guarantee double doors control for a while, but eventually that Viper's going to want to turn back and look towards A, and that is a nice sound cue for Elite to then start his lurk. If he even comes to that, it's very late.
Already again, a couple of players to the back of sight. Zipan knows roughly where they are, but not really finding too much value with it. And in the meantime, Por has managed to collect the double kill. It's left on to Zipan. As said, he's been a hero throughout this game so far, but to win this one would need an absolute miracle. The time already gone. It's only going to be to pad the stats a little bit, and instead Por will awaken from his slumber. The third round, the curse, all that really sits in Na'Vi's way as they are 9-3 up after a fantastic defensive display.
It's going to be tough. And you know what? The big takeaway so far has been Angel's not going to be smack talking Artis' Yoru. I think he's done enough to reserve that right. Maybe. I don't know if they lose being Angel. If they lose...
When we played, I won with it.
If they lose to 9-3 in this position, I would be shocked.
That is the thing. A lot of the time, you are going to see fairly heavy defensive scores when it comes to this map because of the tight chokes, because of basically having almost a double sentinel on both sides with the Viper playing that role. The thing is, if you're picking a Yoru, most of the time it's for the attack. To take that space, to give you the extra position in.
All the Sentinel utilities on B this time, including the Viper wall. I mean, I think A probably is the right way to move things for Na'Vi. Much lighter play from this defensive side.
Ну, кстати, у турков-то не так сильно, как у Нави за КТ. Я объясню почему. Потому что там был Оман, Вайпер и Сайфер. Это уже сильно за КТ. А у турков не так-то сильно за КТ. У них, считайте, Кио вместо Омана. Так что... Да и у Джетки кнопок 0. У Йорика хотя бы ТПшка есть. Йорик тоже хорош, на самом деле, в дефенсе, потому что он очень быстро может оказаться на хлопе. И флешки есть. Ну, какой-то импакт. И ульта есть на ретейк там. А у Джетки нихуя нет.
Something with the knife, but oh, he's so close to just taking out the drone completely. Instead, it will be Kushner to go down. He was the man to find kills in the previous pistol, even without the
блядь, схватился уже.
He's done well to at least do a little bit of extra damage. Shock Dart is actually going to tank Zipan down to low HP while he plants, but he's going to move himself back to give them a slightly more open plant, especially if Saigetsu's going to late lurk through.
They have no idea about Shao, but they've closed the door just in case.
Ну все, просто жуди Шао. Нет!
О,
не убили?
Dodging the bullets
Чего,
as he
блин?
goes. Snakebite blocks him in. He's trapped now, forced into a fight with Brave as on the side Elite swings wide. Now holding on for dear life, but Brave will win it. Through the wall goes Reezy.
А чё туркам, ну, фу хуёво?
keeping things nice and even, which is exactly what they want. The right clicks are not nice, but it gets there in the end, thanks to Elite stepping in to help out. Here comes Zip-Ats, the shots are not landing this time.
А чё, судец тоже прихуярила?
Thanks to Artis,
Блять.
unseen position, and that pistol serves as a nail in the
Бля.
of BBL
А чё?
series.
Все мои выключили на эту, ну, кроме Ангела.
Despite anything you can say about defensive advantage BBL could bring, it's gonna have to be one hell of a way back in for them.
Ну, Шау Джо сказал. Ну, Шау Джо тоже нормально он был. А, бля, как судец любил. Красного мужика.
Yeah, basically, it makes it impossible.
Ай,
They are
Канька.
two players that, at their peak, well, have won a Masters of it.
Бля, ну только не залить это.
Maybe with a little help from the rest of the squad. I feel like Xiao had a pretty good event there, so did Saigetsu.
Бля, меня просто всегда фонит ебаный скаут. Чуть гол сел.
Again, we're going to
Только
see
не
the same
нафигте скаут,
purchase.
пожалуйста.
No surprises at this point from Na'Vi. 3 rifles. If they get out with 3 people and all 3 guns, the rest really doesn't matter. They can take a few risks, a few gambles here and there. And on the other side of things, we're seeing, again, a switch.
Да нет, как будто это нахуй не надо делать. Чем сейчас Арди занимается, это нахуй не надо делать.
Maybe a little bit of information or fake out that they've gone for some sort of
Блять. Мне что-то не нравится. А чё, Ангел с классиком? Прикол какой-то? А чё? Я бы не попал ни по кому, блядь.
A decent attempt to pick them off, especially with the knife close, to ensure there's not going to be just like a shotgun waiting or a player with a rifle who just swings you and trades after your peek. Kushner going down. Look, this angle was held in the previous round, and Kushner more than ready for it to be occupied yet again. Ora, he is sticking around. He's still looking for more damage.
Все, главное убить скаут. На остальных вообще похуй, блядь. Вот клянусь, скаут на А, вот когда у Члофека, это такая опасная хуйня. Особенно если даже там 2 скаута или что такое. Диглы как будто похуй.
Leaving BBL with next to no chance, especially with this late lurk coming through. Sugetsu should catch him off guard, and well, the first few shots didn't land, but he was behind.
По факту у скаута было 2 возможности дать по ебалу. В Бэйне он мог попасть по ебалу челу. И когда в клона стрелял, тоже мог по ебалу дать. Ну, дизреспект двигается. Нет. Гости выходят учиться фанера. Да. Я с Б бегу всегда на вайпер, думаю, блядь, опять ретейк ебаный. Опять ретейк 1-5.
And on the side of BBL, well, this is it. Do or die. You need to start the comeback of all comebacks, and you're up against a dimensional drift as well. If that wasn't going to be a problem on the defensive side, it definitely will be on attack.
I mean, right now, I think Artis and Zip-Ats have more kills than BBL, or it's got to be a close race at least. If you combine
We don't need to look.
No.
We don't need to crunch the numbers. No one do the math on that.
It's 11-3. I think you can.
О, кстати, я все думал. Вот, короче, я же брал Омана на бризе по фану. И я вот думал, вот этот смог полностью закрывает или нет, потому что я не тестил. Вот сейчас я увидел, что полностью. Прикольно, тогда Оман это вообще имба. Реально это имба. Потому что даже если он типа Нест полностью закрывает, это фул имба, занимать мидл. Хорошо, размен. Главное с разменом. Похуй, ну словил Ардис хуёвый тайминг. Главное с разменом.
Yeah, this is a real gamble of an angle. So like, it's definitely an off angle. It's just whether or not. Luckily for him, the second player is low, so there's actually a pretty good chance that he holds on to this.
Но Фрости лучше по выпиванию шотов. Валик, конечно, нет, но по выпиванию шотов нет равных. Просто красавчик.
Again, this comes down to just damage. Looking like it'll be nice and clean for BBL at least.
В ранге до кого-то через
He can take down 1 or 2 players. Maybe this makes the buy in the next round a little bit more tentative. He's going to make his presence fairly well known. I thought he might try and be a little bit sneaky, but never mind.
Behind them, use a TP maybe. No. Well, the round was already down the drain. And BBL have at least found that recovery, but it's a while before I start holding my breath for the bounce back to 13-11. BBL, they need to put this up consistently, and, well, Artis looks like he's going to be going for a bit of a lighter buy.
Ладно,
Just
что
a
ульт есть.
shorty. And it might seem strange, but
Ебать, у них на двоих фрагов, на этот комментарий тоже сказали. У них на двоих 40 фрагов.
using that to get close to them, popping flashes, using his deep.
Как у всей команды BBL. Это нормально? Ну, на двоих, как у всей команды.
The other thing as well is if he helps Zipan get a kill, he
Что
gets
думаем?
his hunter's fury for the post plant. So this is definitely going to be a pace change. TP just to get out of there, running straight through onto the site, already going to be pinging information for his teammates. And actually, Paranoia used to help him out. It's a freebie.
Мам,
Well
нахуй.
done, but that's absolutely fine. The rest of the team now garnering that extra space. Still 2 players here for the side of BBL, and the rest rotating in. Can't really do anything to deny this plant at least yet, but they're quick to go for the retake.
Oh yeah, already primed and ready once that wall went down.
Ну а почему Шау не
Stepping away
помогал?
back towards the site, a good
Ну
opening
и
by
пизда, по
Kushner.
всем инфа.
The ult used as well.
Ну а почему Шау-то не помогал?
Barrel theft,
Ну
grabbing
почему
all
дефолту
the
никто не
information.
помогает
Sugetsu
из-за
now
понта?
stands alone, 1 versus 3, swinging out wide to deny the
Почему никто
defuse,
дефолту
but
не
not
помогает из-за
today.
понта?
BBL string together another round.
Просто продали крысе.
Still quite a ways to go.
Глупо.
Definitely seemed like the rest of the team for Na'Vi were just a little bit slow. Like you saw how far Artist manages to get in. Obviously, the ult and whatever counter utility was there meant that he was already in the site. I think that Angel managed to TP past it, but the rest was still stuck outside. So they weren't able to capitalize on the rest of the players while they were doing this. And because of that, BBL were able to get so quickly back in towards the site. I want to say as well that Elite is someone I feel like who is
Ну, это
impressed
очень
me quite a lot. He's
тупо
the
было.
youngster on the team, 18 years old, the sort of newly promoted from the tier 2
Птичку
back
где
from
побачить.
Supermassive Blaze. Still though, long way to go for this game and of course his career.
Well, 2 rounds on the attack. It sounds easy, but as you're seeing, there can be some labor to that problem. For Na'Vi, this round more so than any. The weakness is apparent on Xiao and Zipan. The side of BBL not looking to take any chances, a much more passive stance from this squad versus what we've seen previously. And I believe the Cam can see any sort of a walk-in, Cam over on B now, can see any sort of walk-in that could happen on mid, so it's not like they need to be worried about a quick kill on Kushner. The only problem really is that Yoru is setting up, and we're about to see the space taken on the site. The flash was perfect on the dot. And the site is now fallen. All because of that. Viper's wall about to fall, and as they look to catch
Не, Ардис что-то пиздец. Он что-то очень жестко ебет на Йору. Вот это про что я вам говорил, помните, что челы, которые прям чувствуют персонажа, Йору, как на нем, куда флешку, ну прям чувствуют персонажа очень хорошо, они, блядь, против них максимально хуёво играть. Но посмотрите, как он идеально все делал. Флешечку, под нее свою тэпку сразу. Ну это идеально было, я не знаю.
Tagged down so desperately low, and Reezy doesn't last a second.
Ну, блядь, пацаны, ну согласитесь, ну, я хуй знает, он очень жестко сыграл. Прям флешку дал, такую, ну прям, на позицию чела, и туда же тэпка сразу. Там Сайфер, конечно, хуёво сыграл, что под него подставился, но вот это вот, я хуй знаю. Если бы я так же на Вайпер стоял, я бы охуел просто. Ну я охуеваю, я против таких Йориков играл. Против задротов Йориков. Неприятно, пиздец.
12 and 5, he's 26 and 10.
Чё, пора карту вскрывать, сколько я на найв доставил? Или не пора? Ладно, чат пробьет ответ. Я почитаю. Сколько я доставил после первой карты? Действует что, блядь, я по-вашему 6? Проблем с любой тут мужика.
Stop Na'Vi from winning this one. Buy us another round. Good shot.
Подошел, смотрел.
This one out. Still a player on the ground they want to bring back, but that's not going to happen. Not today. Xiao with another as Poor eventually falls. And so Kushner, Reezy, and Elite. 3 versus 2. In fact, just 1. It's Artist. Needs all 3. Has his ult online. He can reposition, reset into this one. And oh, he's down to the classic. It comes so close to being an Artist triple to close out the map, but instead we go one more. Finally, it didn't work out. Angel's being punished for his ludicrous approach to the early game.
It's just even like you blink and you miss it. There's a flash. He just runs out. Runs out of the smoke with the spike.
Ладно.
He's actually
Двое из
insane.
вас
And the
написали
problem
правильный
is,
ответ.
genuinely, I reckon 90% of the time they still win those rounds.
They
See how
very
close it
nearly
comes.
did. They very nearly did. Like Shao was like, I will not fail you, boss. It's like, I will take everything. The scary thing as well is that they have literally all of their ults online. Yeah, sure, no Hunter's Fury, but
Бля, не могут просто 5
puts them in
ультов,
such a
давай
great
забрать
position. That's the only ult that's on the other side. Already, space being taken. This time, the ult's complete. The spike even is completely on the ground. And the man who is up mid is the only one who can go and retrieve it.
And he got past the cam. They were watching the cam for that exact reason. I mentioned it the other round, but
Ну все, ангел, ты знаешь, почисти тэпку. А, ну уже А чисто. Бля, вы можете на один план побежать? А что он делает? А, инфу собрал. Нормально. Бля, как он инфонит на Йора, это пиздец. Это лишнее. Он в одну, он ульту отдал, охуенно. Просто желтый спалили за секунду. Не, вы будете мудаками, если такое дается.
And the time ticking so low with the pit in play, no snake bite though, thanks to it being used earlier, and it will not be.
Короче, я доставил 50 тысяч на Нави после первой. Короче, я вот так, ну я в тилте был. Я сначала поставил на кайфик 1.62. Вторая карта уже шла, они чуть раунды взяли, я поставил 30 тысяч на 1.62. А потом они начали сосать, где-то счет был 5-4, по-моему 4-4. И на Нави коэффициент был 2.4. И я еще 20 тысяч поставил. Ну, в сумме 50. Короче, я сейчас скажу, сколько с этого матча я залутал. Ну, если убрать двадцатку, которая сел на 2-0, допустим, минус 20, 8, 26 тысяч чистыми я залутал. Я бы вам кинул скринчики, но там один баг произошел. Короче, 26 тысяч чистыми. А я поставил на хоккей тоже в тилте. 10к грузанул, но сейчас скажу на кого. После первой карты на тилте, блин, поставил. На Акбарс. Они выйдут? Баг не могу обсудить, некорректно будет. Если умные люди поймете. Говорю как житель Казани, что Акбар насос. Бля, 96 тысяч сюда, нахуй.
But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin, former professional Counter-Strike player and Valorant coach. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle, you're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Ух, бля, 96к сюда. Вкусно. На самом деле, я на сцене чуть прифанился. Но я как будто все равно понимал, что Нави заберут бой 3. Просто, не знаю, либо, блядь, Бабки зарабатывают люди или просто баг? Ну, такое бывает еще, когда вот первый матч, первая карта на турнире у тебя. Такое бывает, что, блядь, что угодно происходит. А по факту я понимал, как Нави могут БЛ3 проебать BBL. Типа, ну... Как будто невозможно, блядь. Про джентльменс? Ну то, что они до этого всех ебали у себя там в лигу. А у Витков я бы не сказал, что сильный состав. Тем более они чела хотят кикать. Ну, блядь, короче. Тут сплоченный хороший коллектив. Пусть он, который не играл на таком уровне. Ну, бля, я говорю, в Алике нет понятия тир-1, тир-2. Это очень размыто. Посмотрите, вот мы смотрим с вами тир-1 игры. Что, люди сильно играют? Нет. Супер раунды? Нет. Типа... Я думаю, любая тир-2 крепкая команда отъебет тир-1 команду. Такая прям крепкая. А джентльменс как раз такая команда, сплоченная, типа там. Все такое, давно вместе играют. Yeah, the win been guaranteed, so let's see about it. If you gon' speak about it, then be about it. If you don't bring that energy, no, I can't be around it. Nah, I'ma shoot my shot, I'ma stick it, watch. At the tippy top, I cannot take no loss. 2 seconds on the clock. Ну ладно, все с Нави я перекрыл на первой карте. I got a game on wet, I got a game on live. I feel like a champion. A champion, ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah, I put it all on the line. Definition of divine. I feel like a champion. A champion, ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah, I put it all on the line. Definition of divine. Так, сколько еще раз я поднял, получается? Ну ладно, надо вместе с Австралией считать. Получается минус 20 за Нави 2-0. Короче, пока в плюсе 18 чистыми. Даже 16 вот так. Я не думаю, что такое 2-0 летят. Ой, блядь, ну опасно было, потому что я 50к залил. Но по сути 50 залил, почти 100 получил. Как будто нормально. Я говорю, просто как не верил, что Нави БЛ3 могут проебать. Но этот мужик разъебал на бризе, просто дали по нему.
I went to America to collect money. I collected the money, and I'm back.
Oh, really? So you weren't that interested in America, but it did offer you financial reward. Was the competition not that tough? Because I don't think you actually won out there.
Listen, I just had fun. We went over into America, had a little bit of fun, collected the bag, and I'm back. I'm back where I belong with Angel and Navi.
Yeah, so what's it like now being back together with this lineup that you did raise the trophy with back in 2022?
Бля, Киря, а давайте кину фрибетом, только ты хуйню никакой не страдай. Отправишь мужикам, ладно?
What don't you like?
Angel.
I think the feeling might be mutual. We looked a little bit stressed with you guys on Bind.
On Bind, we were just doing stupid mistakes. I think I team flashed Zipan like 4 times in a row, so...
300, это который нижняя.
Silly mistakes. I think Angel was a little bit tilted, but yeah, we knew if we played and the way we should win.
Ведущая? Прикольно, да.
Tough words after the first map.
Honestly, no. He was just like, listen, it's first map. We're probably a bit shaky. Like we haven't played in 8 months, so yeah, Riot, fix that, please. And yeah, we haven't played in 8 months.
Бля, мы забыли спамить это, что розыгрыш. Короче, надо подспамить так хотя бы 3 раза за карту. 2-3 раза.
To give up that ace like time and time again to BBL. Were you just looking for fights? Wanted to make it hard for yourselves?
Honestly, we were playing very well in Prague, and we were like, there's no way it's this easy in officials, and looks like it's this easy in officials as well. So we were happy it was Breeze with map lead.
So what does the future look like for this lineup of Na'Vi? Because I know Angel doesn't like to make changes, and it's actually kind of surprising because last year was a bit of a disappointing one for Na'Vi, maybe a disappointing one for yourself too. So how are you going to overcome the opposition here in Europe?
I mean, it was a disappointing for everyone. Like we all made it to all the events, but we just didn't place how we wanted. I think I was okay in America. Like we played okay. Probably should have won an event. Na'Vi played quite bad internationally as well, like similar to NRG. So I think we all need to change, and I think we're all just comfortable now. So we all just like work well. So yeah, hopefully we do better than both the other teams last year.
Well, Ardis, I know you tried to dodge this interview, so I appreciate you giving it to me.
Like,
yeah, and I hope you give me another interview again sometime. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
I'm dodging next one.
Don't you dare. We're going to have a word as we head back to the desk.
God bless.
Thank you very much. Frankie, it's a good day to be a Na'Vi fan, but we're going to find out if it's a good day to be a Koi or Team Liquid fan in just a moment.
Я с этим челом играл там, когда карта выходила. Я он в Дискорде сейчас сидит с разрабами, там тоже пиздец. Он же раньше играл сам.
Not the full roster though, they also made changes.
Yeah, exactly. They're in that group of all the changes as we're seeing in this graphic. Redgar, Solkas, and Safe are not going to be part of Liquid anymore. Instead, we have the core of Apex, who you might remember from the final in Ascension last year, which unfortunately they didn't win.
It's a very interesting change because the identity of the team gets actually kind of pulled out of it, and we're gonna have to see now how this Team Liquid will actually play it out with a completely different IGL.
А чё мне мышку привезут, блядь? Как мне в Ереване это бесит, клянусь? Постоянно такая хуйня совсем. Ну что тут в плане сервиса, это вообще пиздец. Каких-то доставок и так далее. Во всем вообще. Такая пизда.
I'm gonna say it. Should have won Ascension. They were the favorites. They only lost one best of three.
Ну реально. Там Яндекс Яндекс.Го, тебе надо документы отправить. Тут к тебе приезжает индус, а он вообще двух слов не может связать. Еще ты ставишь от двери до двери. Чел тебе с улицы звонит, говорит, выходи, блядь. Такая тупица ебаная. Просто хочешь выйти так. Ну типа реально. Помойся, вот так сказать. Ну ладно, это так не да. Ну бля, просто это раздражает, реально. Ты ставишь от двери до двери, ты же за это платишь деньги, правильно? Ну, а чел стоит на улице и названивает тебе. Типа, блядь, выходи, бро. Он так еще говорит, бро, come outside, bro. Come, типа, знаете, такой, как с предъявой. Слева это больше девушка, не? Которая слева стоит. Ну да, это больше девушка.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of pressure, I feel like,
for
these boys. But also, I think a lot of pressure on the side of Koi as well. And speaking of Koi, I believe we do have an interview with Baba. He's standing by with Frankie. Check this out.
Baba, thank you so much for joining me. But I have to ask, why did you keep us waiting so long to find out who was going to be playing for Koi this season?
I would say it wasn't maybe my decision. There's a couple of fusions happening the last years, and no, simply there was a lot of club stuff that had to be done beforehand, and but we will have been on it for quite a while. So just an announcement coming a little bit later. We have been practicing though.
Indeed.
I'm glad to hear that you've got a playbook going on because you're going to need it against Team Liquid. Tell me how the Crossfire Cup and the results you had there impacted your direction of the team going into this season.
I mean, we have to be realistic with it. We had 10 days to prepare all of the maps and everything like it, and I think we played against one of the stronger teams in Tier 2, which is just that, and we cannot take too much away from it. Obviously, it's a confidence hit because we're there to win or at least be in the final, but sometimes good, sometimes bad, I guess, yeah.
But it did affect things because not all the players who played in the Crossfire Cup are playing with you here in Berlin.
I would say it wasn't really because of that result. It was simply that the roles and everything and will from a player to change team. But I wouldn't say it was because of the crossfire especially.
So tell me then about the direction that you're taking.
We are having more rookies. We're having hungry players. And I think that's the first year of a new game, since we saw in Counter-Strike as well, when it had been swapping and now in swapping again. It is a little bit different. In the start, you try to go a little bit for more experience, a little bit more knowledge at the game at that time, but I think the game is evolving into that rookies gets more plays. And no, just that. I think we're in a generation switch a little bit. We saw many experienced players that went out or going back to tier 2 or similar. So I just think it's a natural switch of generations.
Baba, I've got 10 seconds for you to look down that camera and tell everyone why they should be supporting Koi this season. Why should we care about this team?
It should be a lot more interesting to watch. We should be a little bit less boring to watch as well. And we're having the best fans in the world, and that should make the arena quite spectacular.
Baba, your timing was exemplary. They're going to be less boring this season. You heard the man.
I look forward to it. I definitely believe every single thing Barber has ever said. So it's going to come true. It's going to come true. But let's talk about the roster, because even he admitted this announcement was a little bit late. I definitely think we need to address Lothar. I don't think anyone expected Trex, of all players, to be coming out. But there must be a reason for Barber to bring in the substitutions that he did.
Well, as you heard in the interview, he also said that it's not exactly his decision when it comes to like building the roster, right? Which puts a very big question mark on how this entire team will perform with the little time that they had. And I'll be honest with you, there's, I think, a very big problem with do they have a playbook even? Is there something that we're gonna see on attack? On defense, the protocols will probably be very easy to set up. The players, even though they are rookies, they have a lot of experience in tier 2, tier 3, and they're coming into a team that already has some synergy built up. So I don't expect fully a problem on defense, but on attack, there might be problematic situations.
I think that what I'm picking out of the interview mostly is what he was saying about the roles. Maybe some things were not going in that direction. I remember when, for example, last year we saw Wolfen and he was on that duo list, but then later in the season we saw Trex coming in. So what I want from these 5 players is to have really like a dedicated role so they can grow also as players. You know, it's not that you have to OTP 1 or 2 agents, but we need to see the growth. And if Barber thinks that the game is changing and is evolving, his team has to be a reflection of that evolution.
And it's very interesting because we're gonna have a clash of 2 teams where Team Liquid, even though they have a new players coming in, they will have those set roles in place. You will expect Yampi to be on Breach or on Initiator on a lot of maps. Nats has his own map pool, his own agent pool that he doesn't leave, right? And here in Koi, we're gonna have like a lot of question marks that have to be filled once we just see a few maps from them.
Yeah, and we have to say, Shadow is not a rookie, you know? I don't want people looking at this being like, yeah, who's this Shadow guy? But of course, very similar to the Enzo Mystic storyline. He's coming back here. He has a lot to prove. And of course, the ex-teammates, Kukuka. We got an Apex derby going on today.
Yeah, exactly. Some people, you know, might not cut up on that information, but Shadow was also in that Apex team. And not only that, for him, it's also different tier of, you know, playing against your own teammates and going back into tier 1. He's also going to be IGL, and they decided to give him this extra bit of responsibility and next frontier for him to develop also as a player.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward if he changed any of his crosshairs.
Oh, don't start. Oh my goodness. I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. But of course,
that was your brain keeping you safe, hon.
Oh gosh. I mean, we mentioned it already. We have some kind of ex-teammates going on. Him being an IGL, I think Kiko on the side of Team Liquid, he's coming in to fill the boots of Safe. He also was fantastic in tier 2. He was great. Honestly, he was one of those players I felt like even if they didn't win Ascension, he was going to get picked up eventually. So it does feel like Shadow maybe have a slightly easier job just knowing how Kiko plays. But at the same time, Kukuka, if you are Kiko, you are a younger, a newer duelist player, Koi is a nice opponent, you know, to start off with for you to be able to warm up into it.
Hear me out. Yampi's flashing for me. I'm feeling like the best day of my life. As you're mentioning, Kiko was definitely one of the players that was eventually going to be jumping onto tier 1. Now,
А это 1-4, что ли?
For what I understood,
Да.
I talked to Emil, you know, how is he feeling? Because
Ебать.
everybody's going to be expecting Team Liquid to deliver, to perform, to keep being the team
Жестко
that, do
хули.
not forget, won
По таймингу все
EMEA
жестко
last
сделал. Вот
year.
он за
But
искру,
probably
когда прошел
because
с
of
КТ.
them not being very, comfortable
Странно,
or,
что
like, happy with the results that they had overall
один
in
чел не
Europe
остался
when they
просто
got
с головой его
champions.
контролить.
This is what the kind of
Ты
new
просто контролишь его с
Liquid-
головы,
new
можешь
Liquid
даже
has to
просто
look
зашить
like
его.
with that potency, with that extra that a team needs.
I think you touched something very interesting that we
Почему
should
могу
speak a little
снимать?
bit
А чё
about
такое?
more, because Shadow might know Kiko, but I think the duelist is
Чё ты мне фонишь,
you
блядь?
perceive the duelist by the lenses from the initiator, and that's something that you mentioned. I think how Liquid will initiate for the duelists, we're gonna be make a break for the team, and it's gonna be an incredibly hard puzzle to solve for the opposing team. So Koi has a very big task.
Ликвид 2-0 ответ. Да спокойно может быть такое. Но мне кажется, БО3 они проебут.
Again, he might have that kind of added layer onto it, but then again, everything we're saying could just go out the window because
Я в минус 500 рублей могу
we
продать.
don't know if Yumpy is going to do something a little bit different, what they're looking for in Enzo and Mystic as well.
I think Enzo is gonna be on that initiator duty all the time, but the more ones when it comes to like actual info, right? Yumpy in the offseason we have seen, if I'm not mistaken, Yumpy was only playing Breach on 4 maps or 3. I can't remember.
I wouldn't
exactly.
say what we see in the offseason.
That
you know,
is true.
I wouldn't take it into
Ладно, Кирилл, не дай бог
consideration
они
because I
выебут.
understand that, you know, they've been going through the trialing
Продаем.
process. If you have cooked something in that little time, you're not going to show it for a small tournament.
500
You want
рублей
to save
потеряли,
it for
страшно.
the bigger leagues. But also another thing that I talked to Emil about is like, how do we expect this Team Liquid to be different, you know? Because changing an IGL in a team, especially with Redguard...
У меня экспресс жестко стоит, знаете какой? Победа Нави, победа Кой, победа джентльменов. Я поставил 5К, а могу выиграть 60, блядь. 67, если быть точным. Как будто вообще звучит очень здорово. Ну, главное, чтобы Кои выебали. Главное, чтобы Кои выебали, а как будто за третий матч флана нету. Да, чай, дайте поиграем. Да, в основном.
I think Nats is gonna be fine on. Doesn't matter who's IGLing the team for him, because Nats has a very specific playstyle that is more like fitting into a team, but he has set his own set ways. He's gonna be on that lurker role, he's gonna be an anchor, so he's gonna have a very specific place to fill, and it doesn't really matter much for the IGL, but I think the IGL, what is very important for Team Liquid now is when we're gonna have less unpredictable, let's say, situations happening for the team. We have seen Redguard do a lot of crazy stuff, Angel-like stuff,
Да.
right? And then we have seen also Yumpy.
Да, в пизду.
But Yumpy was the second player that was doing the same kind of behavior, right? Now Liquid, I'm very interested to see if the Liquid is now more solid when it comes to the way they're gonna play the game.
I don't know. Like, I think that Nats is the kind of player that I agree with you. It doesn't matter what kind of IGL you give him. Of course, there's going to be something that is going to be different, but he will be able to take it because he seems like the kind of person that we'd be like, oh, it's okay, I'll do it. Yeah, it's fine. You wanna? Yeah, I'll do it. You wanna go walk 10 miles? I'll just walk them. I'm already on my way.
Definitely why it took him 3 years to play Killjoy. Yeah, for sure. When everyone else was playing Killjoy.
Just remember, when you always judge Nat's performance is also through the lenses of how efficient the team is when they're doing their job. On attack, Nats has his task when the team is doing pressure. If that pressure will fail, Nats can't do his job. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen for Nats to perform on the attack role, for example.
I think that looking at it from the outside, you can
Они
understand
карту уже должны были
that,
накликать.
both teams made 3 changes in the lineup, so of course they're parting for they're coming for a very different situation. Koi's last year was not the best. Everybody saw them struggle and like literally fall apart. For Liquid, this is about becoming even better. So we can talk about the pressure of
По ощущениям, как будто Инферно
IGLing with rookies
Ancient
and,
Overpass.
trying
Или
to
Инферно
defy the
Anubis
expectations
Overpass.
of what Koi can expect from them. But for Liquid and for Enzo, for example, going back onto an international stage and actually prove that he's actually worth of that tier 1.
I will say though, despite the results Koi got last year, I do feel like Shados was still that shining star. Shados was consistent. He was doing his job.
You're just a Gambit fan.
Yeah, but he was good. He was good. I think people forget. They look at results. Koi, they're not winning, but there's a
You need to
reason why
look at the
Shadow
results
stayed.
that matter, because Shadows on if you dive into like the deeper on the stats and how he was doing in aim duels and rifle versus rifle.
Да, я на них
Shadows
уже
was always
поставил
on top,
давно.
even if Koi were losing.
Yeah, that's what I
да.
mean. So even I feel like we put a lot of pressure on the IGL and the coach, so on. But Lothar Shados, he was managing to do it last year. They didn't get the result, but his performance was at least good enough. They just have to kind of translate that into results this time around.
Well, as you know, the game revolves around shooting people anyway, and I feel like Shadows is one of those, I think, very important players for the team to perform well. He was even performing on Sage when if I remember correctly last year. He had those maps on Ascent.
Ну ладно, по факту в составе нормально вышло. Я даже заработал больше, чем, блядь, если бы 2-0 ставка зашла. Потому что у меня стояло 20 тысяч на там 1,8 условно. Да, но мне, конечно, пришлось рискнуть, пиздец.
I think it comes down to if there is a good environment